everybody. I'm just trying to make sure we're streaming here because for some reason it never wants me to be in the right place. So I'm trying to. All right. Anyway, thanks for stopping by to the Hooligan Alley Hangout. This is your host, JW. We have a pretty packed show tonight. I hope you all enjoy it. So we're going to get right to it. And let's make this public so people on Facebook can see us. There we go. And anyway, our first guest we're going to bring on is Frank James Bailey, and he's going to tell us about his project, Tercona. I hope I said that right.
Yes, Tercona. Tercona. Okay, how you doing?
All right. I always want to say terracotta, and I'm like, wait, that's not it. There's no T in it.
Some people pronounce it Tercona, but it's actually Tercona. And then I made a video on YouTube how to pronounce it, which is really simple. Remember a show from the 90s or a movie called the 90s called Con Air?
Yep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
This is Tercona. Tercona. Real simple. So, yeah, Tercona is the girl with the long blue hair. She has lightning coming out of her fingers. Her powers are basically they're constructs, but they're limit constructs. In other words, the bigger it is, the faster it disappears. The smaller it is, the longer it'll stay. And she can't make air or water, so she'll be very creative with her constructs. And it all started back when my daughter was 7, and she said, "Daddy, I don't like princesses anymore. I like superheroes." So that's where the seed of the idea came from. Yeah. Anyway, it started off as 3 illustrated novels, and then I really liked the format of illustrated novels, but honestly, it wasn't selling as good as I wanted to, so I switched to comic books. So it's the same characters, same world, different format with a new storyline. So that's how I get the comics. Now I have, as of next month, I'll have a comic number 5 coming out. So. Nice. But right now, there's comics 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're all available on Tercona.com. And the first one, comic number 1, is available as a free read on the website as a webcomic if you want to get started with it. And I'd rather you buy it, but if you want to get started, it's free read.
All right. And we're going to welcome our next guest, Rob. I'm going to screw his name up because even though I knew what it is, Rob Multeri, and he has his project Night Wolf.
Actually, you got it perfect, Multeri.
Yeah, I was. Well, it's because it's Pittsburgh. I can do that.
Right.
How you doing tonight?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And just tell us really quick about Night Wolf. Well, I try to get my stupid mouse to work. For some reason, right now it's just quit working.
Right on. Yeah. So Night Wolf is a story about a young man who finds out that he's born a werewolf and gets thrown into a supernatural war against demons, witches, vampires, other werewolves. And he has to learn how to deal with the life that he knew being ripped away and kind of find his own as a werewolf.
Interesting. You're like on issue 5, right?
Right now we are kickstarting issue 5. We're live now. Have 12 more days to go. You can, for the short link of that, you can go to lonewolfcomics.com/nightwolf. That'll take you right to the page. It's a lot easier than that long Kickstarter link. And
one that I am putting in here right now, actually.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah. And we have issues 1 through 4 already out. And you can pick those up if you're new to the series. You can pick those up through the Kickstarter. If you're already a fan or a Wolfpack member, as I call my audience, just come pick up the next issue.
Nice. All right. And our next guest is Luke Stone, and he actually has 2 projects out at the moment. First one is Hybrids, The Killing Fields, and also VOODOO Nations issue number 2.
Yeah, I'm going nuts, aren't I? With 2 projects at one time,
That's crazy.
So it's
multitasking.
It's the last week of one project and the first week of another. So I am the writer and the artist between for a book called Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. It's basically folklore, legend, mythology, all wrapped up in a Claremont style or Claremont era X-Men kind of package. So if you like Ancient Aliens and you like the movie Taken and you like that classic 90s X-Men kind of team book, then you're going to love this book. It's going to be right up your alley. Your Hooligan Alley, by the way. So
that's right. See?
But I will see myself. The other book I'm working on with a guy named Travis Gibb, who is the writer behind that book, and I am the artist. And so this is issue 2 of a 4-part series. It's about 2 missionaries who go to Brazil. They're trying to help, but they wind up getting their world turned upside down by this diabolically wicked voodoo priest by the name of Bishop Lucas. In the second issue, they continue through the depths of the voodoo nations. All the while, Bishop Lucas is pulling the strings. And so you get a chance to see some new voodoo priests and some new characters in the mix while the plot begins to thicken. So we're pretty excited about this book. It is already funded, and it will be it's like another 20 some days, I think 20 days. I think it was only a 20-day campaign, so it's the first week of it. And
I think it was 16 days when I looked at it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I see so many Kickstarters in one day. I can't.
Yeah, no, when it popped up, I backed it, and then that was
I don't even know where I am. So I mean, I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah. All right. And our final guests for the evening, since Travis wasn't able to join us, is going to be Dan. Can't remember his last name because it's not on my list. And Emily McGuinness and their project, The Zombie Game.
That's right. And this
Emily
is Emily. She is not from Niagara Falls. So she is an actual human being. I believe that she is getting home from work because somebody.
That's what she told me.
She was. Yeah, exactly. And we're in the midst of fulfilling right now our Kickstarter. And here's our dog freaking out in the background. So it's a full-length graphic novel. We're fully funded, and we're getting the shipment in now. So we're starting to box everything up and send to everybody. And our book is. A group of college students attend an end-of-the-year blowout party only to find themselves hunted by the rich in a live-action zombie apocalypse video game. And it's an ode to a lot of classic zombie stuff mixed in with a Saw element of a game master. And we're very, very excited. And see?
I made it!
She's a real human being.
I exist.
Not
from
I thought we were gonna have to talk to the chair the whole night.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to me. No one wants that.
That's
right?
All right. Well, you said zombies, and that's like right up mine and Rob's area here. We are from the land of zombies, the home place of the zombies.
I have a quick question for Dan and Emily. Is your thing a game, or is it? Because I did a voiceover about 2 years ago for a game called Zombie Office.
Oh,
it has nothing to do with that.
No.
It's weird. It's like because it sounded familiar, and I was like, "Did I do a voiceover for you guys?" I did a voiceover for a thing called Zombie Office, and I was like, I never saw the video for it.
No.
It's for a Kickstarter too.
If somebody wants to make it a video game, that would be excellent.
But
it is not.
Yeah.
Activision.
Yeah. She works for Activision. So hello. Yes.
Oh, I got the wrong. Well, I'm going to ask you guys just a couple questions. Well, first, I think we have some people who said something in the chat here. Let me see.
Hey,
there's Trish. I'm sure Mike's here somewhere, too.
Hey, Katrina.
There's Katrina. Well, everyone's here for Rob. No?
I brought my pack with me.
Yeah, there's Mike.
There's Mike.
And there's Katrina.
See,
she's
Nations too.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then there's Mike doing his normal dropping links in everywhere.
Is he doing the mic drop?
Yes. So let's see. This is a question I asked a couple weeks ago, and now I just wanted to see what everyone else says. In your opinion, who is the most overrated superhero?
Ooh.
Is it, like,
Overrated.
Overrated.
I want to say Superman.
I was just thinking Superman too, because he's super popular. He's almost indestructible. I like him, and he.
I think as a kid I liked him more, but now it's like he's just so powerful and too, and his everything is so, predictable and overdone with it.
I became a big Superman fan when Superman died in the early 90s, and I got that comic. And I was like, oh, I would love that guy to have that. But it's like after, he came back. He didn't really die. Oh, okay.
Dan's giving us the finger.
That's when I realized there was always lies. Always lies.
But the Flash, when the Flash died, he died for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all know
Lanterns.
Wally West
Pretty bad.
was the best Flash anyway.
Yeah.
There's so many Green Lanterns, though. It's almost like, really, which one are we talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought like the guardian, he's the guardian of this space, but now there's like four guardians.
Yeah, but there's
five
like 4
from
on
Earth
like,
now.
or 5 of them now.
Yeah, so I'm like, so they all guard Earth?
Yeah. I don't know. DC just kind of likes to overdo everything.
Earth's kind of dumb, just getting into all this trouble.
Right.
It's like the Florida
All
of
the
the
aliens
universe.
find out.
Like, we don't know what to do. We're just kind of walking and bumping into things. You guys need some help here.
We can't even leave our planet.
It's like there's a bunch of zombies.
Mike says he thinks the most overrated is the flavor of the month that either company puts out every book. Deadpool, Lobo, Venom. I don't know about Lobo. Lobo's like kind of on the fringe there. Like,
That was like 90s, maybe.
yeah.
Or maybe little 90s, little 2000s. But I mean, yeah, they've been really beating the crap out of Venom and Deadpool though on the Marvel
Yeah,
side.
yeah. I tell everybody I like original Deadpool, and I don't care what Rob Liefeld says. The Deadpool today is not the way he intended him to be, but he's got that money, so he's gonna love whatever they do to him.
But like
Right.
Deadpool and Cable,
Just keep making
will charge more for a signature on those books. Than
Oh yeah. But so, who would you say then is the most overrated villain?
Joker. First thing I think, I was like, okay, he's very popular, but he's, I don't know.
I would say
But
Harley
he's
Quinn.
still good.
Well, yeah, true. Harley, yeah,
I
Harley
mean,
Quinn
like,
might be
at
a
least
better one.
Joker,
Yeah.
like, I love the Joker in like the Arkham series and like the original Joker, maybe a little bit more now with like the Jared Leto version. I'm like, eh. But like I think Harley Quinn has been so overblown. Like the original Harley was the best. Loved her to death. But like once she became this, basically like
Deadpool.
everybody had a con wearing shorty shorts, and
Yeah.
Have you seen the Harley Quinn cartoon series?
not yet.
It's really good.
Is it?
Because I asked that question on my Facebook and everywhere else a while back, which was, hey, which Harley Quinn you like the best? And a lot of them said the original and that new one.
Yeah.
So the new one from the new cartoon, I think it came out like 2019 or something. But it was
I
that
remember
series
coming
is
out,
really good.
I didn't have like access to it, so I never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
It's on
swears
HBO
a lot.
Max.
That's-
That
no,
and
just-
having kids, I don't get to watch what I want anymore.
Yeah.
It's either my wife picks or they pick, and I'm like,
Trish says she loves 30-year-old Harley, not bombshell Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she gets. I do. She's like overused now. She's like in everything. Like it's just crazy. I had a
everybody
friend.
loves the Margot Robbie version, but I just like.
I had a friend. She was a cosplayer, and like she would always ask people, "What do you think I should?" And people never would say Harley Quinn. She goes, "I will never do a Harley Quinn. I don't even care." Like she goes, "You can't go to a con without seeing 100 Harley Quinns." Like,
Yeah.
I'll never
Yeah,
do
exactly.
There was one year where it was really bad.
It was
that
like
was
right after the movie came out.
Yeah.
that was the year I stopped doing. I stopped doing cons for 3 years. I was like, I'm done. I said, I'm done.
Wow.
It's like everybody at Halloween was that Harley Quinn.
Man, I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, I was like, forget it. I'm out of here, guys. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Love is a Battlefield was really good. Love them growing old together. That's kind of like if you read that Batman and Catwoman series that's out right now. I've read that. I've been reading that, and that's kind of cool because it's showing like Catwoman when she's like it's like taking place, I guess, in 3 different time periods, and it's really neat because there's the one storyline after Bruce is dead, and she's like an older woman, and she's trying to like get revenge for him, kind of, and they have a daughter, and I don't want to ruin it for you. But it's
So many timelines that have been spawned off of this.
I don't know. I think the most so if I were going to pick, I would say the most overrated hero would be Flash, and the most overrated villain would be Zen.
Why do you say that they're the most
Because
overrated?
they both suck.
I love Flash.
But which Flash? Like,
Doesn't matter. Your power is I run fast. You want me to get you coffee? I can be back in a flash.
There you go.
See, this is where I always get in arguments with people between Quicksilver and the Flash. The Flash runs fast. Quicksilver lives fast. The reason he's always pissed off is because he has to slow down for normal people. Like, and he hates, like, why can't you be as fast as I am? Like,
I'll give you that.
I thought he was always angry because his dad was Magneto.
And he looks just like him. And now Marvel's like,
exactly.
oh, no.
Because Magneto's always pissed. He's always pissed.
I mean, they have the same.
Here's the reason why he's pissed is because he's stuck over there with Fox. And his sister got to go over there with Marvel.
And they had the same.
Doesn't get as much royalties.
That's what it is.
That's
hey, but at least he didn't die. Like, oh, I'm supposed to be fast, but I can't outrun a bullet. So
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, they did it better in the X-Men Apocalypse, where he was able to like do all that stuff. Like they totally like dropped the ball on that one. And they're like, "Hey, we're just gonna get rid of this character."
Yeah, we have to because of
we don't own the rights to him. So
it's that's a contractual death. That's not a legitimate death in my book.
So then we're going to screw everybody over and bring him over to WandaVision just to mess with everybody.
Yeah.
Come on.
I was like, the whole like the multiverse thing would have been like that would be perfect for them to finally bring that in.
I am so.
But instead, I'm like, I hate you now.
Yeah. My friend Courtney, I'm glad that she. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm glad that she's not here anymore, but I'm glad she's not here anymore because Wanda and Pietro are like her biggest thing. Like that's her favorite thing in the world. And when that show was coming out, she was so excited, like that they were doing a Wanda show, and you kept hearing all these rumors that they were going to bring Quicksilver back, like, you know, with the multiverse. And then to have him come back as that one, which she can't stand, and then it not to be him, she would have just lost it.
I feel like the actor does a good job for.
I do like
Evan. I kind of like
Evan
him.
Peters is good in American Horror and other stuff he's done, and he often plays himself, really. But he's
kind of like most of those people.
Yeah,
do.
But he's rather entertaining though, to say the least.
I think in my book he was a better Pietro than
what's his name?
Than the other one, yeah.
Than Kick-Ass.
Yes.
Which is funny because they were both in Kick-Ass. And then
they were, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Oh, wow. I just realized that now. Thank you. I was a day years old when I found that out.
Mind blown.
They were like best friends in that movie, you know. But I like how he does like a little thing where he says in WandaVision where he says something about Kick-Ass. And it's just like this little dig thing, you know. It's like,
yeah, he's good with the digs.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. I'm going to ask one more. I have this list. I'm just trying to find a good one.
What's a capital Nebraska? I'm just kidding.
Don't ask me that stuff.
I'm just being stupid. Go ahead.
I'm not a geography person at all.
Man, I don't know.
It was kind of quiet, so I wanted to think. Go there.
No one's going to answer that one.
All right.
I
will go the opposite direction. And who would you say then is the most underrated hero and villain? Look, Trish knows. Lincoln.
Oh, you mean
Nebraska?
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Abraham Lincoln. I'm like, yes,
I know,
he was a hero, and I do
is
believe
he a
him.
hero or a villain?
I don't know if we've underrated him. I mean,
I'm like, who's Lincoln? Oh, no, never mind. That's my question. Never mind. I'm making a joke and somebody answers it.
Mike. Yeah, Mike.
Dr.
They
Doom.
were, which is funny because the biggest unkept secret, in Marvel is that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, no, they're twins.
There were a bunch of people.
They were kind of, together. So I thought it was funny that the movie before Age of Ultron, they played a married couple.
Oh man, What did I win?
Who's an underrated superhero? Tercona.
Yeah.
See, that's an underrated superhero.
You can't do that.
That's a good segue. Just kidding.
I got
Come on, you open the door for that one.
I want to go with Adam Warlock.
Ooh. Who everyone complains wasn't in Infinity War.
Right? Well, I mean,
Definitely
they
should've
they kind of like alluded to that in the second Guardians. Why would they waste that opportunity? And
Why did they waste anything? Marvel.
but you know, he was the whole story around the whole Infinity Gauntlet. Like he was, you know what I mean? Like it was like what the.
No, what they had to do is they had to get rid of him so they can make room for that terrible Captain Marvel version they decided to put out. Like, that's not the Captain Marvel from the comic books. Trust me, I know. I've read them.
Yeah.
I think the people that made the movie
John
probably should have read them
Constantine
too.
is a very underrated superhero.
Yes.
I'll match that with Swamp Thing.
I love the old Swamp Thing movies. You know, that was it in the 80s those came out?
Yeah, it was the 80s. Hey, green guy, where are you going?
I remember it was like around the time we first got cable, and I remember watching it like on HBO.
Throw it away.
We lived like in the middle of nowhere where we couldn't get cable for the longest time.
Yeah, Cable's kind of an overrated superhero too.
Yeah. Now it is. Yeah.
Well, which Cable are you talking about? Now we've got.
You know.
I think it's funny that they have the young Cable, and now like in his book they're teasing that they're bringing back the old Cable because everybody hates little Cable.
I want to try to hear them.
You can't. I have a headset on. That's the whole point. So I can hear them.
So if they
That's why
say
you have an iPad, young man.
This is why you have a tablet.
Mike,
That's
sees
my
your
son Mason,
Swamp
by the
Thing
way, in case you were wondering.
and
He
raises
pops
you
in
man
my-
thing.
Anthem?
Man Thing, yeah.
That person saying hi to you.
Marvel's trying to bring him back. I know they did a little like that
Can you kind of hear
thing
it?
like last month or something.
You know what? When that stint when he was with like Franklin Richards and Leach and Hardy, like that was a nice little segue that they had going on there, and then they just dropped the ball on it.
This is Mason. He likes being on my live broadcast. I do live broadcasts on TikTok sometimes, and he likes popping in from time
I'm
to time.
dancing.
He's dancing.
Let me see. We'll go ahead and check out our first. I'm going to just pick up whatever's on my list first, which looks like it's Voodoo Nations. I just have a bunch of things across my screen, and I'm just going to see if I can do this without screwing up because, 6 months in, you'd think I'd know how to do this, but I'm still learning.
Of perfection.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, I got to get rid of that. There we go.
Yeah, don't dox yourself.
Yeah. All right.
Worry now. Like people's like,
don't
Luke,
think
don't
I
dox
should
yourself.
see
I'm
this.
like, I'm too late. Done it already.
We don't think I should do this.
Several times.
Well, just a girl. It's not like,
Yeah.
He says, I don't think I should see this.
That's all you see.
There's
just a
nothing
girl.
inappropriate. I promise you, there's nothing inappropriate.
He's wearing a dress.
I have noticed, though, there are a lot of Kickstarters that have some sexy stuff. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of them seem to get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
$3,000.
Yeah.
yeah, we don't do that. Mostly because it's not really in my it's not my wheelhouse. It's not something I
Trish
would.
want to know if Mason's a writer or an artist.
Actually, neither. He's more of a Fortnite player.
Hey, I play
loves-
Fortnite.
He loves playing Fortnite.
I have
Now,
two-
my daughter is a different. My daughter loves to draw, so my daughter is a really good artist, and I wish I could bring some of the stuff that she's drawn down here to show you because she's really good. And it keeps, no, draw some more stuff. It's like, oh yeah.
I'm level 156.
Oh yeah, he's a level 156 on Fortnite.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
not that. I just got a
It's
level.
hard to get up levels, so you should kind of be impressed.
You should be impressed.
I do. I agree.
Paying for it.
This season, I'm only at level 100, but of course, I didn't play for a month and a half because I get bored of it after a while.
I think we lose Luke. He looks like he's frozen.
All right, let them talk about their comic.
Did you freeze, Luke?
I think we lost Luke.
Oh, yeah, I see.
He's just very stunned at what just happened.
He's very stunned at what happened. Yeah.
He's like, you're that high in Fortnite?
Oh, wow.
How did you go to level 156? I'm stuck at 75 for a week.
He's like, I gotta go. I gotta play Fortnite catch up.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Technology failed.
Trish says that it's not a Jim Noble cover, which is correct.
That's true. It's very true.
But I don't know if we should wait for him.
Hey, I guess we could share the headphones so I could hear.
Well, yeah, but they're
Oh.
kind of, and now you can hear a little bit. And I can't hear.
Well, instead of waiting for him, we'll just go to our next one, which is Rob's Nightwolf. Now, let me see if I have to share that.
We're going to the next
The
one.
next guy? Okay.
Yeah, if I hit the right thing.
I don't really
Okay.
want to talk.
No,
I'm scared.
I want to remove that.
I don't really want to talk. I'm scared.
I don't want to talk. I'm scared. Wait, now he comes back. See, just as I close it off, he comes back. I gotta bring him back in now. Hold on. I can't do 5 things at one time. Okay. Where's he at?
There's
Oh, there
one.
he is. He's
I don't see
down
him.
there.
There
He
he is.
is.
We lost power
You
for a
froze,
second.
you were
Everything
like-
flashed. Yeah, everything flashed. Like, and the power went out, and I was like, "Oh, that!" And then it came back up, and I'm like, "Well, I know what's happening there." I'm
We
back
weren't
from the
sure.
show.
We weren't sure if you lost connection or if you were just stunned that Mason was level 156 on Fortnite.
Yeah. What level was he?
157. Or 56 or so. Yeah, something like that.
Ah, screw it. I'm leaving, guys.
Yeah, my
Okay,
wife plays
Voodoo
Fortnite too.
Nations.
I don't play Fortnite, but my wife does, and she's trying to get to level 100 to catch up to him, but he keeps going further and further.
Am I freezing up, guys?
No, you're good. I
He
think.
froze up again.
Yeah, you did
True
freeze.
again.
This time he's in motion.
Yeah, he's like, see, he made fun of the Flash.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Turned into the Flash.
You're back again?
Yep.
Okay.
It looks like he needs to hook up his internet to the Flash.
Yeah,
Right.
something. Maybe
Now,
he
just so you know, there's a storm passing. Is it still storming outside? Is it kind of no? It's not. Okay. It was storming and windy outside over here, but it kind of went
Yeah,
away.
it's been
I guess.
raining all day here. It's
Mhm.
like in the 50s.
Oh, there he's back.
And he's
I'm back. Okay.
That's what I
all
can do.
right.
Once I take down the Voodoo Nations, he comes back every time.
I don't know. It's like it's weird. So the internet's
Help
worked
me,
fine all
my
day,
dad
and
is
then-
tickling me.
No. Stop.
All right. Well, let's
All
go
right,
ahead
here.
and talk a little bit about Voodoo Nations.
Voodoo Nations. Voodoo
yes.
Nations. Yes.
Yeah.
This is. I'm really excited for people to get this book. This is some of the best work that I've done, I think. And
Oh no, we lost him.
Oh,
I feel bad, but you lost him again.
But you know what? Now that we have the picture of Travis over here and the picture of Luke over here,
Travis is really going to wish he was here. Trish says that Bishop Lucas is mad at you, Luke.
he put the hex on him.
He's...
Oh, he's back. I think.
No,
he's
he's
so
froze up.
froze.
He's right there.
All right.
Hey,
We're
Luke
just
there
go-
in the pink shirt. He's supposed to be talking about.
We
the
will
comic.
come back to that. Hopefully he gets a better, and we'll go to Nightwolf here. So let me, as soon as I bring him back, you know he's gonna like show back up. So we'll move on to Nightwolf, and we'll come back and see. Look, it's the same thing. My shares. All right, here we go.
I almost
This
feel
is-
like I should like freeze frame just real quick with the joke, but
All right. Well, you're funded with 12 days to go, which that's always good. It's,
oh yeah, that's a great feeling.
yeah.
It's getting to that point is always like, all right, come on.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
then you can like breathe a little bit when you're like after you get past that. You're like,
Well, yeah, exactly. I like today, or it was yesterday. I took a little bit of a breather after I woke up to being funded. So like, but then today I was right back at it again because
Yeah.
being in that dead zone, you got to make sure you keep that momentum going. But yeah, it definitely took a minute to like recharge from that like week straight of like hitting it hard.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
So,
Wait,
for those who weren't here,
and here.
I mean, do you want to tell us a little bit about Night Wolf, or for those who haven't read it before? Or
So so starting off, again, it's about a teenager who finds out that he's born a werewolf, gets thrown into a supernatural war. The first issue basically is kind of like it's a setup issue that leaves you on a cliffhanger. It really introduces you to a lot of characters, both like humans, villains, good guys, and then like it kind of gets you to like feel for a lot of these characters. It kind of pulls a Game of Thrones in a way, get you to like a lot of these characters, but then in the next issue, a lot of bad things happen, and I can't say words because he's got his headphones on. But so in issue 2, so it moves on after you kind of get a feel of Rodney, the main character, and his love interest Jen and his friends. And yes, I do have Legos. Matter of fact, I have them in my hand.
It's already funny. It's already. He wasn't talking because I had the headphones on.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't drop a swear.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so I just showed those Legos because Katrina just brought them up. Anyway,
You're on this show. Everybody can see you and hear you.
Here, I'll mute it so I can see.
So so in issue 2, then kind of continues that setup to where it shows how he has his perfect like teenage life. He's getting a scholarship to football, and he's his girlfriend's a homecoming queen. And then at the dance, shit hits the fan, and it's kind of like a Carrie thing going on with demons, witches, vampires, and werewolves attacking, and during a fit of rage against another werewolf, his lycanthropy reveals itself, and that leaves you a cliffhanger at issue 2, where issue 3 then is just a big action sequence. And we have Luke again.
We do.
For now.
Luke is back for now.
And then in issue 3, then we are introduced to Snowpaw, who becomes Rodney's mentor, who then kind of teaches him how to be a werewolf. Issue 4 kind of like goes into that a little bit, but and then issue 5 is more. It opens up the world a little bit more to how it is as the life as a werewolf, getting into a little bit of the training, how to control his powers, and it's right now this story arc is 12 issues, and we are almost halfway through.
I think Luke froze again.
At least he froze at a very good smile.
Yeah, it looks like he's really interested in watching. Oh no, he was like, oh, but all right, well, let me. And so we're on issue 5.
Yes, we're on issue 5. So these are this scrolling image here shows the covers for issues 1 through 5. Yeah. So
I hear you came back.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, I thought you froze again already. Yes, and we got the projects we love.
I know. This is my first time out of 5 Kickstarters.
I wish I understood how they picked that.
I think a lot of times there's like a bot who's just like lets it go and then doesn't. But if like there's an actual person who reviews it, I think they're like, oh yeah, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so here are some of the previews.
Nice. And who does the art for this book?
Yes, yeah, that's Carlos Herrera is the artist. He's from Chile. He started on the first book, and then he got picked up by a bigger company and left for a couple of issues, and then he came back in issue 4, and he did issue 4 and 5 as well.
And then here's some issue 2. Yeah, so this was a different artist than in issue 2 and 3?
Yeah, issue 2 and 3 was Bakuman Studio, and I tried to find it as close as I could with to kind of match Carlos's style. But as you can see, it's still a little bit different, but it's not. I mean, I think it still caters to the genre and to the book.
Vampire. I take it this is the werewolf guy?
Yeah, so that's Rodney Marcelli. That's right before he changes for the first time. So you're kind of in this scene as they're trying to escape the massacre that's happening at their school dance. He uses his strength to pop open, one of the gates so that they could escape. And then you can see kind of like how his eyes are starting, like the pressure starting to like start to trigger things, but it didn't fully change him just there.
Just the look of him kind of gives me that teen wolf vibe. I don't know why. Like with the beard and stuff, I think. And there's some more from issue 3.
Yeah, so this, like I said, this is the first appearance of Snowpaw, who's the female werewolf. She's Scottish from the 19th century. She's been around for a couple hundred years. So she basically comes into this picture and kind of takes him under her paw, if you will, and trains him.
So I take it there's more than just them. Like, it's not like I guess there's more than 1 or 2 of these werewolves.
Yeah, so in my story, werewolves are there's like tribes of them across the world, hidden from human eyes. This breed in particular is kind of like an offshoot breed, and so there's like a kind of a recurring thing. So they're either born like a good or a bad one, whereas he is kind of in the modern, in the middle, where like modern society, like between good and bad. Good and evil doesn't really. There's more of like a line, or a gray line. You're not necessarily good. You're not necessarily bad. So he's kind of breaking that mold in a way. He's more like an anti-hero, if you will. Yeah, this kind of shows like this page is one of like the openings as to where this breed came from. In issue 4, Snowpaw tells Rodney about the beginnings of their breed and how they kind of like were left off of the regular tribes.
I'll be right back. I'm going to the
All
right. And we also have, supernatural hunters who, hunt down supernatural creatures who are aware of them. And then we have the FBI Special Investigation Unit who are capturing and taking fantasy, aliens, supernatural creatures all into Area 51. Because apparently nobody actually stormed them.
What?
Slackers.
I know, right?
After they planned it for months.
I know. And this is issue 5, a clip of them about showing her how to do a little sword play, since she's very skilled and he's just kind of swinging around like a club. And it shows kind of like their relationship, how they are completely different. So her being a 200-year-old werewolf who never seen a movie or does anything with pop culture, and this kid basically growing up in a normal modern day life. So they kind of rub each other the wrong way, and she's poking fun in a little bit and just kind of like knocking him with the sword or the knife handle in the face, putting him in his place, if you will.
Mm-hmm. And so we're still working on the stretch goals.
Yep. We're in stretch goal territory. We're hunting down the first one. But we unlocked a lot of rewards for the milestones. So we have like 9 different things that that everybody's going to get. So the digital backers will get all the digital stuff, and the physical, obviously, will get the bookmark, the prints, the trading card, sticker.
Nice. I always like to get stuff.
Everybody likes stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But I like people who have started doing this, like not just like, but for your digital backers, giving them digital rewards along, because there's so many times like you'll see like, especially if something's from overseas, I'm not going to pay like $40 to have a floppy shipped to me.
Right. Yeah.
And so I usually get digital from someone who it's going to be, and then that's all you get. Like, where then people got physical are getting like, a package of stuff.
Yeah. So I try to do like a digital package too. So like in each print, there's like a digital wallpaper version, like they put on their phone or on their computer or tablet or whatever. So I always try to include a lot of digital stuff, for everybody, so that they feel included as well.
Nice. And is issue 5 the end of this story arc, or
no? So there's 12 issues in this story arc, so we're just getting into the middle of it. So this, like I said, this is kind of like a training montage one, if you will, and kind of reveals a little bit more of like some evil plans. Whereas like after, like when starting with issue 6, it's going to be like nonstop, like till issue 12. It's constantly, it's basically like at that point, we're rolling, we're going. He's got kind of a little bit up to speed, and they're, they're on the mark.
With Katrina says, "Yay, Snowpaw!"
Yeah. So speaking of Katrina and Snowpaw, I'm actually doing a spin-off series for Snowpaw that's coming out this summer, and Katrina is my editor.
Ah, see? There you go. It all fits together. And it's Trish. I think it's based on shares because she must be talking about the.
The Project Love.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea what their algorithm is.
I've seen people get it the first day they launch, and I'm
How you guys doing in today's cartoon?
Sorry.
God. Sometimes I think.
Lord.
I need you to back mine then. Well, here they go. Talk. Yay for goodies. I like goodies.
Everybody loves a good goodie.
Yeah.
And and like I'd like to give more, because like Kickstarter, like oftentimes they're paying a lot more than a comic shop, and so it's nice to be able to give them more than because they're paying a bit of a premium, to get these funded.
Like I usually say, when you're backing a project like on Indiegogo or Kickstarter, a lot of times you're not getting it to buy the book. You know what I mean? I mean,
right.
that's a plus that you're doing it to support
Exactly.
support the creator. So yeah, I mean, Marvel and DC don't need us to really support them with our $5 book. So, you know what I mean? Like if we don't buy that $5 book from them, I don't think it's going to hurt that bad.
It's true.
But you go. I mean, everybody who backs a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo or whatever, however you're doing it, every little bit helps that creator get that much closer.
It really does. Yeah. I mean, and really, so like, for this being able to like continue on, like I said, with having 12 issues and I'm serializing, this is the way I am able to continue on. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get these books out.
Are you going to do like volume?
I think the
graphic novel, like after 6, put out volume 1, or are you just going to do like
volume 1's already out?
book?
So I do have a issue from issues 1 through 4, volume 1 put together in a trade. You can actually grab those through the add-ons in this. And okay. I plan on every 4 issues there'll be a volume trade. So like then like once you get through 12, there'll be 3 volumes, and then I plan on doing like one of those slip covers.
Yeah.
Put those.
Oh, you could put all 3 of them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But long-term goals.
It's always good to know where you're going. You don't want to like, Oh, now what do I got to do next?
Right? Yeah. No, I'm already think past that stage now. Like it, the first couple issues, I'm like, what am I doing? Now I think I'm like, all right. I think I have a plan. I know where I'm going.
I think I know what I'm doing. All right. I think Luke has been not froze for this whole time, so I think we're good to do Voodoo Nations now. But if we put it up one more time and you freeze, that means
done.
it's cursed.
I'm done.
It's
I'm
cursed.
sleeping.
That's right.
Going for a walk.
Start it over.
You call Travis, like, Travis, you get on this show because it's not working for me.
It hates me.
All right, let's try.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Voodoo Nations.
Always takes me a little while to make sure I'm hitting the right buttons. All right. Okay. There we go. Can we all see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Don't even.
Now he's doing what I
I was just saying, I see it.
I had you there for a second, right? I'm sorry, I had to. So Voodoo Nation's about this. A couple of missionaries, Brent and RJ, and they go to Brazil, and they're there to kind of help out with the situation in Brazil. We do set this around a real event that happened. There was a flood that took place and displaced a number of people, killed a number of people, and just kind of tore up a community. And so these missionaries, they come in, they're going to help, but they don't realize that their territory has already been claimed by one of the most diabolically wicked villains you've ever met. His name is Bishop Lucas. And if you know anything about voodoo, Bishop is not a title that voodoo guys normally take on. So everything about him is somewhat antagonistic towards Christian faith, right? So he basically just jacks their world up. And that starts out in issue 1. And issue 2, the couple, they move on into New Orleans. And while they're there, their journey into the Voodoo Nations goes deeper and deeper. And all the while, Bishop Lucas is still pulling the strings. He's still the puppeteer, if you will. But we get a chance to meet this wonderful voodoo priestess named Maria. And she is the descendant of the famous Maria Laveau.
Oh.
And so, yeah. She was my opportunity to draw a sexy woman. If you all see, when you see Bishop Lucas, you're going to know it's like, oh, so I drew that for a whole issue, and now I get to draw something a little more attractive. So,
all right. So where are we at? I should have looked. Oh, yeah. 32. So we're close to this stretch goal.
Really close to that stretch goal. Once we get there, I don't even know what the stretch goal is. It
says sticker for all physical
sticker
backers.
for everybody. Yeah, that's the one. The sticker.
Sticker.
Yeah, I get these stretch goals and my other stretch goals mixed up. See, that's part of the problem. I don't know. Like, how much money is this one? Which one does it say? Sticker. Okay, voodoo. That's what it is. Yeah, so everyone gets that sticker once we hit the $3,500 mark. And we're so close. We know that we'll be doing that. It is moving a little slow. We also got projects we love. We were able to snag that on the first day. I don't know how.
Yeah, that's why. See, that's. I mean, some people get it like boom, and other people it's like halfway through their. And they get it. So.
Well, we had 100 backers on the first day. Very thankful for everybody that was excited about the project from the first issue and coming back to support this second issue. It's just been tremendous to see that support. And just really appreciate it. I can't express the gratitude enough. This is kind of a horror thriller that's designed for the psychological thriller fan out there. And some of the best work that I've done on the art department, and I feel like Travis's writing is solid, keeps getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is our standard cover. Yep, this is Maria hanging out in her chair, and then we have a day-night variant, and so this is the day version of that variant.
I don't think he has the night one on.
Oh, we do.
There it is. It's just farther down.
Yeah, yep. And that is our night version of that cover. I particularly like the night version, and this is some some of the interior pages. You get to see the first 5 or so pages. Yeah, and so there's Lucas, and you know Lucas. He's not very attractive at all. He's kind of an ugly dude. He's got that scraggly smile, and he's got old Brent on a dog leash there. He's got him dog chained. And yeah, we we kind of pushed the envelope a little bit further in this one. You notice that's a little weird, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's-
Very
Somebody's pulling the strings there.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Remind.
It is. You see here in this scene that Lucas is haunting her dreams. In fact, this particular page right here that I did, that you've got up on the screen, when I first did it, the script called for something a little different, and I was just like, I don't know. I kept going back to it. I wasn't real happy with it, and it didn't really have that horror vibe, that real thriller thing. And one of the things that I always loved about those old like horror movies and thriller movies was it's what you couldn't see.
Yeah.
That was so scary. And so I just wanted to tighten in on her face with the terror and give like Lucas's reflection in her eyeball and have that sharp staff cut in her cheek. So I thought
this one has that alien, like, because you don't see the alien in Alien very much.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of Ripley's emotion.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of the vibe I was going for. And so later on in the book, you're going to see a whole bunch of New Orleans. You get a little taste at the end of this little snippet as they arrive in New Orleans, and but I really tried to make the whole city a character, so kind of make it, flow and have a feeling. So yeah, line art was by me. Colors were by Alan Emanuel, and letters by Jerome Gagnon. I think I'm saying his last name right. I'm probably saying it completely wrong.
It's Jerome. That's all we know.
It's Jerome. I know it's Jerome. Yeah,
that's it.
Michael Watson did this variant cover for us, so we're pretty excited about that one. Nice. He did a tremendous job and really captured Lucas in all of his wickedness.
And then there's all the variant covers.
Yes, we have a lot of variant covers, and I actually have if you back the project, you'll be able to see a update that I posted today. There are some very rare variant covers from the first issue that I have copies of, and nobody else does apparently. And so there's a special link that if you after you've backed this book, you go and you grab that link from the updates. And then you can go back part 1 and 2 of the Killing Field for hybrids, and then get one of those covers in your package randomly. Oh. So it's so you can get one of those more rare covers that way. So we've got tons of reward tiers, digital and physical. I mean, we've got something for everybody here.
One thing I like about when Travis puts you together, he actually shows you the tiers. Like a lot of people just will like write them out, or they'll just like kind of cherry pick ones to show you.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts because I'm like, I want to see what I'm getting. Not like.
Well, I think everybody does. Everybody wants to see what's in there, and so it's a good practice to, to show that stuff off.
Yeah, even if it's small, at least you know what you're getting.
Yeah. Because sometimes when I'm reading through like the thing, I'm like, what is that? Like, because people give them weird names. And...
Yeah, I think the weird name ones are they. Though I find them entertaining at times.
Yeah, especially if it fits the, the book or the project. But then there's other times like they're cool, but then I gotta like, what am I getting? Like I just want a ketchup tier. Which one's the ketchup tier?
What is Arnold Armstrong tier really? In the end? I'm not sure what it is.
And then these are that's the first and second issue.
Yep.
And you can get the day and night covers. You did those covers too?
Yes. Yeah,
because I know some people, they do these, and it's cover artist isn't the interior artist, and it's like.
Yeah. No, on this one, I always do, every book I work on, I do cover A. So whatever the first cover is, I do it. And then I also, on this particular book, I do the day. We stumbled upon the day-night variant. We did a cover option that Travis was thinking of, and so I did the cover, and then when it got colored, they didn't know what to do, like it was a day or night, so they did two, and we liked them both. Said, well, let's do a day-night variant.
And in the first issue, you had a day-night variant too.
That was the one that we did. Yeah, we were like, okay, so now we planned that it was going to be a day-night variant, so we put Marie on the front. In that nice pose as she's getting ready to walk down Bourbon Street. Most people would follow her down a dark alley. So
I didn't even notice that till just now that like when they colored it, they actually change the color of the dress, so it's
Yeah.
because it would be a different hue, I guess,
yeah,
night
yeah.
and day.
Color theory and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes. Lovely things that us colorists have to learn. It's not like coloring a coloring book.
No, it's
Everyone
not.
knows. But some people think it is. Not quite that easy.
Wouldn't it be nice if it was?
Oh, yes. Much easier. Ooh, what cover is this? Like, I haven't seen that.
That is another special cover that we've got for. I can't remember the guy. See, this is where Travis comes in handy. He knows.
Yeah, because he knows everybody's name.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's the guy. He did a cover for us on the first book, and it looked really good. So he does like that white scratch on a black background, and so he did a cover for this one as well. And those are probably one of some of the rarest covers that we have.
Yeah, I think it was 1 in 100 or something when I seen the odds. And then of course the catch-up tiers. There's the day-night from the first.
Yeah.
And the Stan Yak cover.
Yeah, Stan Yak, man, he's tremendous, isn't he?
Yeah. So, and those are, I guess,
Some
prints.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. I was telling Travis when he was doing the first one, I don't even think he's had it out yet. It was when he was first talking about it, and he told me the character's name is Bishop Lucas. And I was like, oh, you mean Lucas Bishop from the X-Men? And he's like, oh, I didn't even realize that.
I didn't realize that, yeah. But, still it's fun. And there's a picture of Travis and I. We did a special store variant cover down in Orlando, and that was us signing a bunch of covers that day.
Was that at the Collective?
Mm-hmm. That was at the Collective. And I do have, if you need that cover, that's one of the special variants that I have available in that tier.
Oh, and those are just like pictures. I was like, what's all this?
Yep.
All right.
And he has some reviews. Yeah, some pictures, some reviews. You can get broke
all
down
I know
there.
is the colorist on these broke down books, he's pretty good.
Yep.
So
I'm not sure who he uses on broke down.
Me.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I'm
See,
one of them.
I'll tell you, I don't, like I said, I don't know anything.
That's I always give people, like, I say, oh, that colorist on broke down, it was really good. Actually, that first issue, I wasn't that. I mean, it was how many years? 3 years ago. Yeah. So, but I know you have another book, and we'll hit that in a little bit.
Sure.
Because you've been on here for a little while. Let me just scroll back up here really quick if I can, and just it's a long ways. All right.
It really is.
Yeah. Like they just need that return to the top button so you can just like back up there. So we're at 137 backers.
Yeah. We'd like to get to 300 this time. Yeah.
That'd be.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
our
it's
goal.
still 2 weeks. So
Yeah, 2 weeks to go.
yeah. I mean, I think that's very doable. I know, like Travis, once he starts pushing it, it'll probably, I mean, like how he does, he'll get on and start really pushing it.
Yeah.
People, and it'll be up there. So, but I read the first one. I did back this one, so I can't wait to get it to continue reading with Lucas. So let me come back here, and I got to figure out how I don't want to close the wrong thing and close somebody out. But we have. I don't want to do that. I just want to stop it. There we go. Why do we look so? There we go. I was like, why do we look so small on the screen? Katrina says, stickers.
Oh, I love a good sticker. We had stickers for ours as well. Yeah.
Everybody loves a sticker. The only problem is I have a stack of them. I don't want to put them on anything because then I'll lose them.
Yeah, that's the way I am too. Like they end up being more like collector's items instead.
Yeah, because I used to put them all on the back of my laptop, and then my old laptop died, and now I don't have my stickers anymore. So I'm like, I'm not going to put them on there.
I used to have a Transformer decal in like my first couple cars, and like every time I got the new car, though, I lost the decal, and I'm like, now I'm not getting I'm not going through that again.
Yeah, I used to be. Well, I'm a retired member of the 501st Legion, so in my car I had like you can get those, I don't know, like you stick them up on the top of your windshield, and it was like this big thing, and I had stickers all over the car, and then that car, the engine blew. And so I'm like, oh man, I lost all my stickers.
I gotta get new
Lost
stickers.
forever.
Yeah, but the thing with 501st stuff, you just can't go buy new ones. You gotta wait until it comes around again. Like they only sell stuff
Right.
like certain times. It's
I got My Hero Academia stickers.
oh,
right.
Very cool.
Katrina says, get
Yeah, my
yourself a
own
good
sticker.
1980s
Sticker
sticker
book.
book.
Oh, I forgot
Yeah. That's
Yes. With the puffy stickers.
about
yes.
Oh, I
Your
forgot
Lisa
about
Frank
puffy stickers.
that.
We need some scratch and sniff stickers in there.
Oh, yeah.
There's like after a while they like start to deteriorate, and you could see like the foam underneath.
Yeah. Or do you
That's
remember?
right.
I used to always get those sticker albums where like they had sports ones or something, and you would have to almost like baseball cards, but they were stickers, and each team. Me and my friend, man, we would go crazy with those. You'd end up.
I used to have garbage pail stickers.
Oh yes,
Pail,
Garbage Pail
yeah.
Kids. Yeah, that's great. Who is it? Matt and Steph. They always do. Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did the with was that Walter Osley?
Yeah. Yeah, so they've done 3 of them. I have 2 of them from the last, the last campaign. So I'm hoping I get the last one, if they're listening. I hope I get.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Matt, Steph.
I did a cover for that book, so I should.
You should definitely get a sticker from that.
Yeah, at least a sticker, a gold star.
Gold
Right.
star.
There you go. We all just get paid in gold stars now.
No, that doesn't. That's like getting paid with
Exposure.
exposure.
Wow,
Right.
I'm doing so good. I got like 300 exposures this week.
I mean, after I paid my rent and exposure, I still had 100 left.
The kids have been eating on exposures for a while.
Yeah.
I always think that's funny whenever like someone who's doing an indie book comes up and is like, "Well, you'll get exposure." I've worked on indie books. I know how much exposure I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Right. That's also true. Yeah.
It's like the same with those anthologies too. Like not all of them, but like the ones that don't like offer any, like they're just like, oh, you're just getting your name out there.
To the 60
a-
people who back it.
I tell you, I have a phone book. My name's already out there.
Oh man,
And kids are like, what's a phone book?
Right.
I can't believe they still deliver those things. I am because I actually have a landline.
Oh, fancy. I feel like that's a privilege now.
I know, yeah.
Oh, it's not. If we have one, but we don't ever use it, and it
Let me
rings.
tell you what, like
It's always somebody trying to, like a telemarketer.
I
It's
got it.
horrifying.
I got because with Comcast, the bundle was cheaper if you got phone, internet, and cable.
Mm-hmm.
So I have it. I've had it
Oh.
for 3 years. I've never hooked a phone up to it. But every once in a while, I'll like check the voicemail because you can do it like through your cable box, and I'll get some weird things. Like I had one that like said we could not verify that you're a human. It
Oh, wow.
was like some kind of recorded voice. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I've got a robot telling me I'm not human enough, man.
Like, what was that?
You are not human enough.
How dare you tell me, bot?
Katrina says, I had someone offer to pay me in Happy Meals once. Now, see, at least that you're getting fed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all at once? Well, I want to, like all at once? Like, did you just get like a pile of, because like one Happy Meal is not payment. That's like
Yeah.
99 cents. If
Yeah,
you,
now if I say like, yeah.
Did you at least get to choose the Happy Meal toys?
Yeah. Is it like you get like a year's supply of Happy Meals? They just give you like this thing and you can go every day and get a free Happy Meal?
or a giant gift
Or
card
me.
or something.
Yeah. Yeah. They just, giant McDonald's gift card. Because that way you can't even take the money off of it. It's just a McDonald's gift card. All right. I do have some other questions. If I can read my own writing. I had one here and I got okay. What's your favorite current comic book series?
Does it have
Like,
to
what
be
are you?
Marvel or DC, or can it be an indie?
No, I mean any, as long as it's not your own. Like we.
For me, I have a three-way tie between the Wailing Blade, White Ash, and Tart.
Mm.
Going back
I
to
have-
Happy Meals.
Right. I have.
So you want to give us
friends-
me a bunch of? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I have a friend who does this great series called Seance Room, and I swear I'm not biased. Like, it is actually really great with Source Point Press. His name's Ben Temple Smith, and it's all kind of like ghosties and horror, and it's pretty cool. Nice art, amazing art too. Not nice, amazing.
We did a variant cover for a friend of mine, Andrew Gildy, for his Forgotten Hymns. He was very excited.
Nice.
It was very, very great art.
Yeah.
How about you, Frank?
Honestly, I haven't read the whole lot of comics. I'm more like cartoon person, and I don't know. I've read a few graphic novels here and there, but I haven't really heard a whole lot of new comics though.
How about
Like,
you?
Tim, give an opinion on that.
That's fine.
I've got I buy a whole lot of indie, and then I do like back issues. So I think like back issues right now, I'm really into the Spider-Man Carnage, the Total Carnage series. I've got the trade paperback for that, so I'm enjoying it. But right now, ongoing, I'm not really into anything from the, I've got several things on my pull list, but I'm really not loving anything from the big two or big three. So I would say there's this new book that I just got, and I got a stack of like issue 1, 2, and 3, I think, with their 0 issue, called The Search for Siddiqa. And it is really, really good.
I think did you post that on your Facebook?
I did. Very rarely do I find a book like that. I'm like, wow, everyone needs to know about this. And that is it's a tremendous book. Tremendous book.
Yeah. But I agree. Like I read X-Men now more out of a habit, like, than that it's good anymore. Like, I don't know. Like, so I don't know. Like, probably for me, there's heck is it Commanders in Crisis? It's from Image. It's about like this lady who's the president, and she takes these like heroes from all these different Earths, I guess is the best, and she brings them because their Earths were all dying, and so she brings them to this Earth to try to stop the same thing happening to their Earth. So I mean and they end up, they're all the presidents from their Earth. How it just turns out. Yeah. Yeah. So
I see a lot of arguing ensuing if that's the case. Like, no, I'm in charge. I'm in charge. No, you lost your Earth.
Big personality.
Listen, buddy.
Yeah. So that's an interesting. I also like Undiscovered Country. I've been reading that. It's just, I like that alternate history stuff, kind of like I said, it's not alternate history. It's more like futuristic history, but it has to do with American history and stuff like that. But other than that, like I said, the big two, though I read a lot of their stuff, it's just nothing. Yeah, it's just there. I guess you read it out of habit more than
nothing spectacular at the moment.
No, there's not. Nothing's like.
They kind of lost me at the second Secret Wars or the third. I forget where we were at there.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
And then the 100th reboot that DC did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the New 52. Yeah.
Then what was it after that? I don't even remember. New You or something, and it was.
Yeah, at that point I was like, okay.
Yeah, and now it's hard with DC. I mean, like I was a Marvel person when I was younger, like in the 90s. I hardly read any DC, but now as an adult, I like to read more DC than Marvel. I don't know. I think it's geared that way. But but DC is so hard to follow anymore, especially now that they did that, whatever the heck that thing was called, just recently, where they kind of made it so there's no really continuity anymore. It's like everything that's ever happened is like in this future state or whatever. So it's kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah, right. Yeah, at some point it just gets too much. And you're like, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah. But I will say, I just got, it's right here because I haven't read it yet. The new, it's Gotham. And but it's very interesting. I didn't read it yet, but I just looked through the art, and it's very manga-ish. It's like black and white, and it's grayscale, and it's drawn like kind of manga-like. So it's very. I thought it was a pretty brave thing to do, is to take a Batman comic book and put it out, mainstream like that. Like,
I mean, I think if you think about it, younger kids these days are more into manga than they are into American comics. I mean. Anime, that's what's huge. Yeah, I mean that's what they're getting right now, and if you look at like Barnes and Noble, look how big like the manga section is compared to like the graphic novel section.
Yeah. I used to go to a place called Books A Million, which is owned by Barnes and Noble, I guess, and they would literally have this like clearance section of graphic novels that was like two rows of discount graphic novels, and then the manga section was just. And every time I went there, I swear it grew. It was just like bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. I'm like, what is this?
Probably cheaper to print and a better margin too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Well, that and their storylines, like they don't reboot stuff. Like they actually have like consequences and things that happen. Like if you're like I didn't read like any of the Naruto stuff myself, but my kids were telling me that like now they're like way past, like he's like an adult and he's got the kid who's doing kind of like this, like they actually move on generations.
Yeah. Well, it's like Dragon Ball. If you think about that, like I was just talking to my nephew the other day because he got into anime, but he doesn't like Dragon Ball Z. But and I told him, I was like. Okay? I was like, I never got into Dragon Ball GT, and he's like, "What's that?" I said, "Oh, that's the one where the dad was the kid, like this." And then and he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, like it started off with he's a kid, and then he was the father in the second, and now in the third one, the son's the adult." Like, he's just like, I'm lost. I'm like, exactly.
I know it's just the anime, but with My Hero Academia, even with the manga, I mean, you see the kids slowly grow up, and you can see how they mature as they become the superheroes they are. And I don't think like American, comics and cartoons do that often. So,
and then when they do it, everybody complains.
Yeah,
well, that's entirely true. Because like, look at Spider-Man.
I liked them better as a kid.
Yeah,
just look at Spider-Man. Like, well, I mean, it's at a point they kind of stop because like now it's like, okay, now you're an adult, we're going to keep you there. Yeah. But like, if he was a kid in high school when he first started out, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, they started doing that with him and the X-Men, because they were teens too, and then they got a new set of, but then like at a certain point it was like, okay, you're done getting older. We're just going to keep you at the same age. And then introduce a bunch of random characters that may or may not pan out.
Yeah. Well, I remember when they were doing that with Spider-Man, and then they had a Mary Jane, and then she got pregnant, and that's when everyone started like freaking out because Spider-Man's this old guy now. So then that's when they had to like do that storyline that whatever, A New Day or whatever. Where they had to like take it all back to. And now he's teaching at the college, or he's a college student. And I was like,
I actually have to say that I really disliked that storyline because, like, I kind of wanted him to be able to, like, because Mephisto gave him that ability to, like, kind of remember and take it back, but they never actually did. So I was like, okay, if you're going to do this, at least kind of, like, give him that chance to get it all back. Because, like, I mean, that to me, that was the time whenever I had my first son, when that that came out, and I was like, that kind of hit me in the feels, and I was like,
I was like, I will. I've never been a big Spider-Man reader. Like, I get spurts where I'll read it, and then it kind of like loses me. like now, I was really into it, and I was reading it for the last couple of years, and then I got lost somewhere. Like I was like, now I'm kind of like, nah, I don't care if I read this one. I think it was like when they brought back Harry as that thing. I don't know what the heck it was even called. I'm like, how many times are these Osborns going to die and come back to life?
Well, but then that again, the whole Secret Wars thing, like put all these different things together. Like they took all the different Earths or multiverse or whatever, and then they put them into one. So like that's where you got good Cap, bad Cap. You got all the Wolverines into one. You know what I mean? Like you got all these. Yeah, you got all these things that they just threw together. Like they're popular. Let's keep them.
I think
like that.
last week on the show, one of my questions was about what was the best death in comic books of a hero, and someone had said about Wolverine because they actually kept him dead for a while. Like I expected, at the end of that storyline, okay, he's dead. He's going to come back next month. You know, like how are they going to bring him back? That's the whole like.
But they
idea.
Did.
Eventually.
Because, you know what I mean? Like I feel like. In my opinion, I think the best death would have been Captain Marvel because he actually stayed dead.
He did. Yeah.
The Flash stayed dead for like 20 years.
Yeah, until Jeff Johns decided we need to bring back Barry Allen.
Gwen Stacy was a pretty good death too, though, for me.
Yeah. Until they brought her back.
Yeah. But then wasn't it she? That's a different Gwen from a different thing. And then there's
In her world, Peter Parker died.
Yeah.
And that's kind
There's always some trick, the Lazarus Pit or whatever, to get
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I guess that is the beauty of comics is that you can do that. But I mean, in the same sense, it's like,
well, I like whenever they killed Jean at the end of the Dark Phoenix saga. When Claremont wrote that, like, and he said, "Oh, I'm just going to kill her off," and Jim Shooter was like, "You can't do that," and he's like, "Well, I'm doing it." And like, so he killed her off. And Shooter promised him they would never bring her back. Like she was going to be dead.
Oh yeah, like they were going to listen to that promise.
And she was dead for a while until they decided to do X Factor, and then Jim Shooter's like, "Well, we're bringing her back for X Factor."
Well, but then if you remember though, in the early 2000s, they did finally kill her off again, and she was gone for
a while.
Yeah, that was.
So they brought back Teen Jean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just thought that was creepy.
Yeah, they totally changed that whole like dynamic with the original X-Men, and that's when the whole Secret Wars thing, and they're like, everything we did doesn't matter anymore.
Well, there was one scene whenever she first came back, and when Scott was still alive, before they killed him off for a while, and he's like having this interaction with her, and they're like in the private, and I can't remember if it was Psylocke or Storm saw him talking to her, and after he's done, she's like, "I don't ever want to see you alone with her again." And I'm like, that's just creepy. Like, just because they were married at one point. Yeah. I digress. All right.
Wah, wah.
And I'm so sorry, guys. I so appreciate the chance that we got to talk comics tonight, but my job is unfortunately pinging.
Everybody froze but me. What? I'm sorry. Everybody froze but me.
I was listening to, and Emily. I can hear Emily talking.
Did they even get a chance? Did she get a chance to talk about her comic yet?
No, that's what I was going to do next.
I'm so sorry. I can very quickly summarize. I thought Dan chatted at the beginning.
No, he did not.
Just a quick intro.
Okay.
Yeah, here, let me bring it up real quick and
let's do it.
Yeah, let me. I'm just. It's. Oh, which one is it?
I can talk about zombies, and here I thought he gave the whole spiel already.
No, he did not.
Just a quick intro.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Hold on. I gotta bring it back up. I don't know what I'm doing.
This is what happens when you tag team live streams.
Okay. Then now can we see it? There we go.
There it is.
All right. If you want to, I think this on your website it just gives us the cover, so I will drop so people can buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And our Kickstarter page is still up, even though our campaign is over, and you can go see some more artwork and interior pages in there. our artist Pablo Achala did amazing, but I'm totally with you guys. Like I need the cover artist to be the same artist as the interior artist, so he did both. He did this cover as well, and it's a full graphic novel, 134 pages. So we we kind of like skipped over issues and went straight for the graphic novel.
Hold on, I'm going to try to bring up the Kickstarter if I can.
Sure.
So I'm going to take this down real quick, so it doesn't.
That's respect, though. I mean, that that takes a lot of like time and effort and money.
It's been a journey, that's for sure. Like, and we we wanted to tell like the story we wanted to tell without kind of being initially bound to like the issue format. And but I know a lot of people, especially on Kickstarter, like really generate like a lot of interest, and a lot of people love it that way. But I think like we're book lovers too, and we really want to tell like a complete story and give everyone a hefty thing in their hands. We love like physical media, so there's just something about having it all together and in hands that's like super special to us. You can actually see our giant box city of Kickstarter rewards waiting to go out. And a bunch of our stuff has already come in, so we're actually just waiting for just the graphic novel. So very excited to get it out and about.
All right. For some reason, it's not finding it. Was it just the zombie game?
Yeah, it should be. I can put the short
It comes
link.
up in tabletop games, or is it video games, in games? None of those. I don't know. I think my Kickstarter's messy. Yesterday it was all in Chinese. I don't even know what happened.
What?
Yeah, I went to get on I'm like, why is it all in Chinese?
Oh my god, that's crazy. Somehow my YouTube got turned, I think, to Korean. I don't know how.
Yeah, okay. Let me add this now.
Reminds me of that song back in the 80s. I think I'm turning Japanese.
I'm Japanese. I'm turning Japanese. I really think so.
I thought that's what was happening. Really? Okay. I was like, did
crazy.
someone hack my no? Okay, I think I got it now. There we go. Is that it? Yeah.
There we go.
You can all see it. All right.
And that guy there is our sticker as well. So he gets to haunt your nightmares forever.
Yeah, I remember looking at this earlier, and it's like a fully painted book. Is that like it kind of?
Yeah. So Pablo definitely paints digitally, and he's just incredible. He has a style kind of, I would say, like somewhere between like realism and Ben Templesmith. That like if you dive into like some of his panels, it has such like amazing detail, and other times getting like a real sense of like motion and movement. So he really knows how to like paint for comics. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we had a bunch of great artists and horror authors like contribute to our campaign as well. So all that stuff got shoved to the top of the top of our Kickstarter. So
And these are these some of the pages? Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot. I can't think of his name now. Oh well. You'll come to me later after you're gone. I'll be like, oh, that's who it is.
Right, that dude.
Yeah, like he used to work on X-Force. That's where I know him from. But he did it. His art was paint like that, very painted style. So, and the book is available. You can still get it on your website. That's what
yeah, and Yeah, and if you go to Kickstarter as well, our Kickstarter has the link to our website too.
Some more of the art.
Yeah.
I just wish you could like blow it up better. You know, I mean, that's one thing I hate about.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate part of Kickstarter where if you put the page is like super huge, you're scrolling, you're like doom scrolling like Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we tried to make it scrollable.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Or even if you could just click on them and make them bigger, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice. And how many pages is the graphic novel? I didn't know if I seen.
The whole thing's 134 pages. So with all our like little bonus pages and extras. So it is an actual standalone book. You can read it in and of itself, but we hope to kind of tell more stories in the world. So
awesome. And I believe, is it $20 or $25 on your website if anyone's interested? And I know I did have the link in everything for your website. I just want to see how much did you.
Yeah, we have a couple like companion books that are up on our website. Yeah, you can actually, I think, click the pink link if you want to go back to our website.
Yeah. Yeah, see, there we go. Yeah.
So there's a companion coloring book as well. Like we always feel like the main character, the best character in our graphic novel, like service dog. Yeah. And Leg has his own companion coloring book as well. So
nice.
If you're not super into zombies or want something like a little cuter, you can pick up the coloring book too.
Nice. And then there's the.
Who doesn't like a cute zombie?
Exactly.
Right?
Who doesn't like a cute zombie? Come on.
It's a golden retriever with like zombies, so there you go.
Yeah. And I'll definitely make sure we share out that link again for everybody where they can get your book, coloring book. I'm probably going to be picking one up here very shortly because though I color more than I do anything nowadays, I'm an artist at heart, and that
it's very soothing. Especially, I feel like residual COVID times, like everyone's still stressed out and anxious.
Yeah, Mike said he tried to look it up too and couldn't find it, but we got it there, Mike, and I will put the link in again. Actually, let me see. I can do that right now while I'm thinking about it. And if it'll let me. This thing is so... They still have to be working on it because it's not as user-friendly as it should be.
Mm.
There we go. So I dropped the website where they can pick up that book. And thank you for coming. I'm glad we didn't have to talk to the chair.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for your patience, guys. I super appreciate it.
Oh, that's fine. Well, I'm glad to have you. Like I said, me and Rob are from Pittsburgh, so we're like the home of zombies. So
love it.
Yeah. So zombie things always hold a special place in my heart. Like I was telling some guys last week, me and my friend, when we were younger, probably 10, 11, I don't know, I was in middle school, and we'd go to Monroeville Mall almost every weekend. So after we saw, like, when we were old enough to finally see Dawn of the Dead, and we were, like, back at the mall. At that point, the mall still looked the same as it did in the movie. Like, probably till just a few years ago, it still looked like that.
Yeah, it really grew.
Yeah. So, like, we'd go through and, like, oh, here's where they buried that guy. Oh, here's the hallway where the guy got his head blown off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm
really love the genre. Like zombies are just fun. Don't let anyone tell you they're played out. Like there's always something new to explore.
There's always a twist you can put into them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, that Army of the Dead. That's probably like the biggest thing right now. And
Oh God,
It's
don't
more
get
of a
me
cuter
started.
version, but the Phineas and Ferb did a zombie one, but everybody turned into a pharmacist. To Dr. Doofenshmirtz, you just touch. Oh my God, I'm Dr. Doofenshmirtz. It's a
even
different
the-
play on it, but still.
Even the Smurfs did a zombie episode. Get out!
Right.
Get out!
Yeah.
Get out!
Oh, I remember that.
They bite the other one's tail and
Little
then they turn
sister.
purple. So
Well, even the
Zombies.
if you want to go back that far, the Transformers even did that thing where, like, when they had that virus or whatever.
yeah. See, it's always zombies are always popular.
Yeah.
But
for
I thank
sure.
you for stopping by. Oh, Katrina says she loved Phineas and Ferb. So.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a
there you
cartoon
go.
buff. We don't talk cartoons. I'm a guy here.
Well,
For sure.
yeah. So, like I tell everybody, any other time you want to stop by, like you don't have to always have something to
Plug.
promote. Yep, we like to just hang
Yeah,
out and
yeah.
have fun. So anytime you want to stop by or whatever, so you'll take care of what
Cool.
you need to, and
Thanks.
thank
Thanks
you.
so much,
Have
guys.
a good
It's
night.
so great to meet
You're
you.
welcome.
You too.
You
Bye.
too, Em. Bye. All right. So I think we still have 2 more books to go to. Let's see. We should try. Let's get Frank's in here, and then we'll hit what your other
So
book.
you saved the best for last, is what
Yeah,
you're
I did.
saying.
Luke's hybrid.
Man, you set that up for him to spike it down.
All right. Let's try to do this one more time. Let me close up this other thing. So I don't open the wrong things. Oh, there we go. All right. Now I lost you. There we go.
I'm right here.
All right, I hit the wrong button.
Oh,
I clicked the
okay.
same button. It was
I
like,
didn't go
where
anywhere.
did everybody
I'm being
go?
patient.
All I have is your website, right? So-
Yes, that's all. So here's the thing. I did a Kickstarter about April of last year, and honestly, it completely bombed. So I decided, I'm not going to do a Kickstarter for right now, and if I'd have a different project besides Tercona, then I'll try and do something different. But I have a new comic coming out next month. It's comic number 5, but I have 5 comics. Just so you guys know, in case you want to know, Tercona started off as 3 illustrated novels. The novels didn't really sell as much as I wanted to, even though I liked them. They didn't really sell as much as I wanted to, so I switched to comics in 2019, and ever since then, it had been a totally different ball of wax. So the comics is the same world, same characters, new storyline with a new format. And people seem to like the comics. And every comic is only $5. The first comic, I think, is like 24 pages. Second comic is like 28 pages. Third one is like 32 pages. The fourth one's the biggest one. It's like 36 pages. And this newest one coming out is only have, I think, 28 pages. It's been...
Slacker.
Well, I'm trying to find a balance somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like the first comic was only 24 pages, so it was really, small, and that's like, well, maybe I should make them more, And they kept growing, but I'm thinking, well, maybe the next one after this number 6 might be 36 again. I'm trying to find a balance between how much I got to spend for the artwork and how much I can, you know what I mean? So I think between 28 and 36 is probably a good number. But anyway, Tercona is, if you go to the top, you can actually, on my website, scroll up there a little bit. There's a part on top where it says characters. You can find out all about the characters by going to each character. There's Tercona and Paige. I don't know if I told your listeners or not, but Paige is the name of my daughter, and the Paige is the alter ego of Tercona. So I named her after the alter ego.
Nice.
So it's kind of a homage to her. But there's all the stats about Tercona, how tall she is, how much she weighs, what kind of power she has, and that kind of stuff. So if you want to learn anything about Tercona, there's everything's right there. Plus about her alter ego. Her alter ego has to be a little different than what she is because she doesn't want to tell him. If you look at her, she doesn't look anything like Tercona except for the long hair. If it was a cartoon, she'd probably talk like her. But other than that, it's like she has a blue mask, has long blue hair, and a suit and stuff. Well, Paige doesn't have any of that. When I was watching my Miraculous Ladybug, I'm thinking, how can anybody not tell she's not Miraculous Ladybug? Yeah, she has exact same kind of hairstyle, and exact same hair.
What about Clark Kent? I mean,
I was gonna say
Exactly. Yeah, Clark Kent the glasses. How can you not tell?
Well,
So that's
depending
why I
on-
wanted to make Tercona and Paige kind of different. Just one or two things that. Wait a minute, your hair is the same length, or if it was a cartoon, it had the same voice. But other than that, you wouldn't be able to tell.
unless they talk like Batman.
Yeah, those are the yeah.
it all depends on who you talk to. The reason you can't tell Clark Kent is Superman is because when he's Superman, he vibrates so fast it kind of distorts the way he looks.
Oh, okay.
That's what they say.
Flash does that too. Flash does that with his voice. Yeah.
Why don't they do that then, like in the comic? Because I mean, you could see him clearly.
Yeah, I know.
I don't see no vibration here.
Well, you know how they do. They just like, oh shoot, how do we fix this now? Okay, this is what happened. We'll explain it to you. We'll never show it though.
They did a lot better in Smallville when he was hiding out and kind of being more Batman-like.
Batman. There you go. Yeah.
When he was the what's he called?
Blur.
The red blue. The blue,
Yeah,
the
blur.
blue blur.
That was so much. That's silly.
Yeah. Oh, there goes my mouse again. Not work. Okay.
There was that season he was wearing the black shirt with the trench coat.
Yeah. Yeah. When he was
I remember
actually in
that season.
Metropolis. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
one of the last seasons.
Ah, okay.
He didn't actually don the actual costume until like the last episode.
Yeah, and it was
last minute.
and it was the Superman Returns suit, as I remember.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
close to that for sure.
Yeah, because it was like right after that movie came out. So.
Mm-hmm. Wait. If you wanted more about the other characters, there's a whole bunch of other characters there too. There's Brian, there's Paige, there's Brittany, there's other people in the comics. There's the books and comics. You can actually go there and find out more about the books. There's the shop page where you can actually shop, buy all the latest comics and stuff. There's that's comic number 3, comic number 2. There's also the original books down there as well. And I think it's the shop page where you can go in. Because I have special covers for comics 1, 2, and 3, but I didn't get one for special number 4. Like, see, right there in the center, that's a special cover for comic number 1, but it's the same artist. He just did a different style for it. I particularly like the older style with the little logo in the corner. He likes that other style that you don't put the logo in the corner. He thinks it's too old fashioned. So, but we try them both.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's a couple of not posters, but pinups I have for sale as well. The one pinup that people seem to like, if you scroll up, is the one right there in the center. Right, scroll down. Keep going. Right there.
This one.
No. I'm sorry. A little more.
This one.
Right there. That's it. Yeah. People seem to really like that one because they see her transforming from Tercona into Paige, and it's like a half and half.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty cool looking one. And my daughter has that one in her room. I've sold like 3 or 4 of those. But as you can see to the right, there is the first book that I had back in 2016. Again, I started this as an illustrated novel, and I really liked it. And I wrote another illustrated novel, and it's like, okay, I'll try one more. And the novels weren't selling, so I decided to try comic books. And to me, it looks like people are more willing to shuffle off $5 for a comic than $20 for a book, depending on how you look at it. Especially if it's something that's never given a chance to before.
Yeah.
It's But the one thing that fascinates me about all this, if you scroll back to the top again to the bar, there's a place called Fan Art. Click on that, and to me, this is, like I said, I've been doing this since 2015. Okay. There's people out there who've drawn Tercona and drawn Britney and drawn some of the other characters just because they're fans of my characters. So they're from all over the world and they just love these characters, and that's why I really want to make it more and more. So some of them are really good, some of them are drawn by kids, some of them are they just seem to like her because she has this long blue hair and a surfboard and everything else.
Hey, we know Martha Schwartz.
Yeah, she drew that.
Yeah. Very cool.
Anything else you want to know about Tercona? Or should I just keep talking? Because I can do that too. As you can tell, I'm a talker.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you used to be on the radio. So that's kind of your job. But what was your the I know you said about your daughter, and that's was that like the main inspiration for the books?
Well, technically, that's where the seed started because she didn't like princesses anymore. So she it's like I like superheroes. So the idea was in the very first book, the mother is generally like, very bad and evil and stuff, and she wants to get away from her mom because the mother put her own husband in a cell, and daughter was like, okay, that's enough. So as they're walking a while, as they're basically escaping this planet, Tercona says, the mother says to her, "You're a princess, act like one." Not anymore. Throws her crown down and kind of leaves her mother on this planet. So she's kind of always worried that her mother might come and find her somewhere. But right now she's living her life as a superhero. Matter of fact, I even made up a town in Ohio called Bayville Heights. It's a made-up town in Ohio, but it has a highway, it has a river, it has a lake, and it's a made-up town in Ohio. To me, it's kind of like a cross between Toledo and Cleveland. It's like not too big, but not too small,
Nice.
But the idea somewhere down the road is hopefully to pitch it to like Netflix or something, and because I did talk to a couple of people who have actually produced their own cartoons and stuff, and it said, you're close. If it has to be here, you're probably about here. You're really close. You need to change a couple of things. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
very interesting.
And somebody told me it did look kind of cartoonish.
Well, that's
that's the appeal. That's the idea.
Yeah.
I don't want to say kids, because yes, it is a target audience of all ages, and obviously the girl with the long blue hair gets your attention right away.
It's very interesting. Like I forget my brain. After 2 brain surgeries, things come in my brain and right back out before I can get them out this way. I don't even know. But that I can definitely see it's like an animated style of art, and it would be very easy to translate those characters.
Now, see, my artist is from India, and I tell him to draw them this way, and I think that's what he's always done. So if I ever, let's say, pitched it to somebody, and let's say Netflix or somebody wanted to take it, they'd probably find their own artwork, and I'm sure that the artwork might change a little bit.
Yeah, but you never know. Yeah. If you like Invincible, that was really close to the art style of the comic. Like they did a really good job of kind of matching
the funny thing is, as you mentioned that my biggest worry is like if I did this and let's say sold it to Netflix or Amazon Prime or something, my biggest worry is that somebody's going to say, pink is for girls, so let's change her suit to pink. And her hair should be yellow. And I'm like, no! It's a stupid worry, but it's one of my biggest worries.
That's when you get a good lawyer when you're working out the contract, so you get to still have a executive producer, so they can't just change your stuff for you. That's why a lot of those guys make sure that they're still connected to their projects.
That's what I'm hoping for. But
I think that's probably why Invincible was the way it was, because it was directly involved in it.
Yeah. Well, it helps that he had the Walking Dead money, so he could make his own production company to be able to be behind that kind of stuff. So he's not farming it out. Really.
Yeah, Invincible. That series was phenomenal. That series was really good.
The comic was better.
Oh, yeah.
Well, again, there's only 8 episodes in the cartoon, so there's so many, 150 episodes.
I'm starting to sound like my wife. So. My wife's always like, the book is better. And I'm like,
yeah, it's
my wife says too.
In the show, they just skipped ahead so far, and it's like they totally skipped over this whole
It's like, so we're here now, huh?
Yeah. So we don't even really get to know who Omni-Man is before we get the big reveal.
If you look at it from a production standpoint or from a standpoint of trying to make it into an animated series, they probably have to, squeeze some, they don't have so much budget. so they can
and
only
they-
make so many cartoons, and they have to sell the story somehow. You know,
And they had to get to the juicy stuff really quick.
yeah, exactly.
Like we couldn't take 4 seasons to build up to this.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think the show was paced a little bit better than the cartoon. I mean, the comic. I mean, it was
Yeah.
paced just a little bit better.
Well, I know, like, what, because, you know, everyone always thinks of Oatley when they think of that. And he didn't even come on until, what, like, sometime later in that first year, like, not until, like, when was it? Like, issue 6 or something. Like, it was a while in before he became the artist of the book. And
What's
then I
it-
thought,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I was just saying, because then he went to Spider-Man. He went from that to Spider-Man, and that's another thing why I can't stand about Spider-Man is the way that, I don't know if it comes out every week or something, but it feels like they rotate artists on that book so much.
Well, there's a period where Spider-Man they were like there was one book a week, or they had multiple titles that they just were constantly just beating that to death.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, I can't take this anymore.
Speaking of prolonged, I think Luke, you were talking about they stretched out the whole thing from Invincible. You know, with my comics, I've known something in my comics for a long time, which is Britney's a lesbian, but she has a tough time dealing with it because of her dad. But I've never really mentioned it before until the comic coming out next month. I mean, I've written three books, 4 comics, and I pinch about a little here and there, but I figured, now is the time to actually talk about it and how she deals with the situation she has at home and stuff. But it's been building up to this,
Yeah.
So it's figured next month is a good month to put that out. So
Yeah. Yeah, like, just kind of on that, I was reading, I want to say it was X Factor this morning. I'm trying to catch up on everything. And it just occurred to me, like, how many characters in X-Men that they have made into homosexuals over the years. Like, that there wasn't, for the longest time, and all of a sudden this character is, and this character is. Like, in X Factor, I swear there's 4 or 5 of them. I mean, it's just, I have no problem with that. But, when you have this established character that's been around for 40 years, and now all of a sudden this week they're going to be, like,
oh,
Yeah, I think my problem with that is because and you don't just make that choice overnight, and that also like they tried to make Spider-Man gay, and it's like, but look at like his back history with women, like either if the whole time like he was never really in love with any of them, which made him like the biggest jerk in the world. So like making him gay would make him not a good person.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because it's like you've been playing women forever, like and you don't. Yeah, so it's like.
You see, with my comic book in Britney, it's like, okay, I introduced these characters, and Britney had a best friend named Brian, but it's like they never really got together or anything. They were just like the really best of friends. And then as time went on, Paige or Tercona started fighting crime with, Britney, and they become really good friends. And, they mentioned a couple times about, that, but it's like we've never really talked about it. But you kind of get the feeling, because in the 3rd book there was a dance, and Britney went there by herself and met somebody else there, but they didn't really talk about it, So I've known it the whole time. I never changed anything. We're just now we're talking about it.
Yeah, you just never announced it.
Exactly. And I figured, now's probably a good time to mention it. But see, after I had this one comic, I'm probably not going to mention it. Can you get the cat out of here?
Booty.
Really? Oh.
I knew Katrina was going to comment.
Kitty.
Because Katrina, if you don't know, she has a book on Kickstarter right now about cats. It's a prose.
I have an interesting question for you. Okay, since you guys have done Kickstarters, do you guys have your own website, or do you prefer Kickstarter over websites, or do you have both?
Both.
Both. I have my own, but I haven't updated it probably in years. Because I'm just not good at keeping up with those things. Yeah.
Oddly enough, I feel like I have more sales on my website while I'm running a Kickstarter, probably because, with Facebook, the links now have like the product links. So it tags them whenever I put up like, one of the new things that I'm promoting for the Kickstarter that will then lead people to my website. So like I've had like more sales recently than I've had like, when I'm not running anything because I'm on more, promoting more.
Well, the only reason I asked is a couple weeks ago I was on a different show, and I don't know who it was. I forgot his name, but the guy was like, "I've had 10 different Kickstarters," and I said, "Well, I have a website." I said, well, "What's a website?" Like he doesn't do website; he just only does his Kickstarters. Should he have a website too?
2021 doesn't know what a website is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he does know what a website is, but it's like he's all he does is Kickstarters. He doesn't do anything but a website. But I'm thinking that. Okay.
I think
I
too,
run a
like,
lot of Indiegogo because of the
money
name
for
of the
not having the website. I think a lot of people are,
Under this thing.
or they're
Yes,
maybe
I
like
know.
use BackerKit as their store or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people who use that, or like now they use like Facebook instead.
I use Indiegogo in demand as kind of a store.
Well, I guess I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it's probably great to have a Kickstarter and Indiegogo, but it's like once the campaign is over, and even though they have their book, what about the people who missed the book? They're going to want to get it somewhere, so you probably should have a website, right?
Because see, a lot of times I've been using for the past 6 years, Indie Planet. I mean, Kablam, they'll print my books, and then you can put the books on Indie Planet, and they do like a print on demand, so someone can buy it from there, and they'll print it and ship it to them. So I don't need to have 500 books sitting at home, waiting for someone to buy it, or they can buy the digital. And I always make my digitals like half the price of the. So like if it's a $5 book, the digitals are like $2.50 or something, because it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't cost them anything. Like I don't have
breaking
any,
up there.
I do from a print.
Netflix.
Yep.
Netflix.
I should make not to get off the subject real quick, but I should make note that even though I have 5 comics, the very first one, which is called Who's the Abaymont, that one's a free read on my website. And the only reason I do that is because to get people to come to, I like that one. But the second, third, and fourth one, you want to read like the first couple of pages.
Yeah.
To me, it's an idea to get people to read. I like that one. I gotta buy the next one. So
Yeah. I have a landing page that I send people to get my first issue digitally, and then it gets them into my email list, and that way, like, they can keep up too. Like, if they like it, they can continue on, and or if they don't, they can unsubscribe. It's doesn't cost them anything, but when it just
and they can check out the first one, right?
exactly, and get that cliffhanger, and then go
yeah. Well, usually people are pretty interested in mine because at the very end, what'd you do? Okay, I don't know what happened. I was paying attention to you guys, and all of a sudden they laughed. But the very end of the very first issue is like, but we have to find out who is Thea Baymont, and that's it. So you have to know, you're going to have to get the next one to find out what's going on. So I leave it with a good cliffhanger.
Oh, that's how you get them to come back.
Yeah. Always leave them wanting more. That's what I've always been told. Always leave them wanting more.
It kind of reminds me of back when the Lord of the Rings movies came out. When I was married and I wanted to go see it. I wanted me and my wife to go. And she wasn't into that stuff at all. And she's like, but I want to go see this movie. I don't even know what it was. Some chick flick movie. I don't know. So I told her, I was like, all right, we'll go see that. But we have to go see Lord of the Rings right after. And she's like, okay. So we went and we sat through her movie. I don't remember. We went to see Lord of the Rings. And when it was over, you know how it ends. Just like, it doesn't end. It's like, okay, this is the end of the first movie. And she's like, that's all? Like, it can't end like that. Now we have to see the next one. So that was
read the book.
Yeah, well,
because the book ends differently.
yeah. So we end up going like opening night to see the other 2 movies. I was like amazed she sat through them, and she was like could not wait to see the next. I was like, holy crap!
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people who had that similar experience who didn't read the book.
Yeah,
Books.
Yeah, well, I don't even know. It would take me forever. I've been trying to read the Game of Thrones books since the first season came out, and it just takes me forever. I am the slowest reader in the world.
I only have one Harry Potter book because somebody gave it to me, and it's Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and that's like 700 pages. It's like, I don't even know if I want to start this or not. Because it's a lot of pages, and it's the biggest book of the whole series, though.
Yeah.
When my friend Courtney was still alive, she was a big Stephen King fan. And she really liked the... my brain just fried. It's right there. The Gunslinger.
Oh, yeah.
The Dark Tower series.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'll give it a try. So I went to the library, and I got the first book. And I was amazed. It was the first book I ever got from the library that I could actually take it back when it was due. Like, I finished it in 2 weeks. I was like, I can't believe it. That was really good. She goes, well, that's good. I'm glad you liked it. But just know that that's the shortest of the books. I'm like, what?
They did a comic series. I think Marvel did a comic series for that.
And the comic series was a little bit different because they did it.
Wasn't it like prequel?
Well, they did it chronologically.
Right.
Where the novels aren't chronological. Like they go, like partway through it, there's a book where it's like a flashback where he's telling them the story of when he was younger. And that's where the comic book series starts. You know, so it's... But I've been reading it now for 6 years. And I think I'm on book 4 or 5. I just read so slow. And they get bigger. Every book is just bigger and bigger.
Wow.
She said, Katrina says, Dark Tower. Not Dark Tie, you dumb phone. I was like, what are you talking about? Dark Tie. And then I was like, oh, never mind. But, yeah. Anyway, I did have a question. I'm going to find it here again. Oh, well, of course, me and Luke are the only artists here, I guess. So, do you have a favorite comic book artist or writer?
For me, my favorite writer is Chris Claremont. So when Luke was talking about his book, it perked my ears up a little bit. I'd say as far as artist, I've always been a Jim Lee and Joe Madureira fan, and Michael Turner. So like those, like my top 3 artists.
I thought Luke froze again because he was like,
No. I'm just listening to.
And I think he's drawing too. I hear a pencil.
I am. Yeah. I'm. Here, I'll show you. I'm working on. I just, it's one of those things where I'm never happy with the cover or something that I've decided to work on. So I will just start working on something else. And this is what I'm doing. I'm just doing some flats. I just drew this.
Okay.
So that's what I was working on the first half, and then now I'm throwing in some flats so that I can render it out and color it. So yeah.
No, I think you do your flats like I do. Like when I learned the flats, they're like, oh, just throw any color in there, and then when you come back, you can adjust it to the color it's supposed to be. I'm like, why add that extra step? I'm just going to put in the base color when I'm doing the flats, and then
Yeah, I never understood that. I was like, just color it the way it's supposed to be.
Supposed to be, yeah. Just throw in the base color. I mean, you might need to darken it because I know some people. It all depends on how you color. I used to color from light to dark, and then realized that doesn't work too well. It works better to color from dark to light. So you start with a darker color, and you just kind of work it down instead of working it up.
Yeah.
Okay, to me that's cool to see that. Now I'm not an artist, so I did watch this stuff and it's like, oh, that's pretty awesome looking.
Well, if you have 3 hours to waste, you can go to my YouTube page and watch me color an X-Men cover. I don't know if I don't think I did the flats because flats are, or you can see me do a page from Omni from a couple years ago.
Do you do any like writing for the comics, like like characters and books and stuff too, or
me
just artwork? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a book that I do everything. I write it, I draw it, I color it, I do the lettering. I used to have an editor, like my friend Courtney. Her and her husband were the co-creators. They helped me create the characters because I actually created the characters 20 some years ago. And then when I finally was doing the comic they're like, that some of these characters need to change because they're terrible. So
That's always fun to hear. Isn't
yeah,
it?
well, I kind of asked for it, and so then she was I guess a high school English teacher. That's what she went to college for. Hey, Katrina, listen. So she was my editor on the first 2 books, and then she passed away. So I don't have an editor for this 3rd book yet. So I think that's what Katrina says that I forgot to hire her as my editor. That's yeah.
I didn't.
Well, I was just curious how if you go through character pages and stuff, because I mean, like when I first started writing, a friend of mine told me it's like you got to sort of have an outline of every character. This way, when you go back and you're writing that character, no, that character wouldn't say that to that person because they're not like that. This way you know the characters, but if you actually write down every outline and how their personality is and that kind of stuff,
I never even. When I started doing comic books, this is like way back in the day. I didn't even write the story. I made it up as I drew it.
Okay.
So I mean, it was very incoherent.
Yeah, that's not the best way to do it.
Yeah. But I'd be sitting there drawing it, and I'd be like doing the voices as I'm drawing it, so I know.
I still do that though, man. Like I'll make the sound effect. I'm like, bro, take out the trash. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how like when I'm lettering the book, I'm like, all right, now how does this sound?
Yeah. And then,
I hate lettering. Oh.
I'm a graphic designer, so I mean that's like kind of my background is putting books together.
yeah, I did that too. But I'm really looking for a new letterer for this book. So.
When I started out, I didn't think, lettering isn't that hard, so I just do it myself, and that's why I did that for the longest time. And then I realized lettering's important.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because and that's another thing. Like when I started drawing, I would just draw panels. I didn't think about where the words were going to go. Like,
also like, important.
Crap! I didn't leave enough room.
There's so much to comic books that people don't even think about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry. he brought his skateboard in to show you, but it's like then his mom was calling him, so yeah.
I thought maybe I was hearing from the Lord again.
Yes, Lord.
Like I said,
JW, this is the Lord.
I've had 2 brain surgeries, so I tend to hear things and see things. So, well, like I said, I don't even know. My favorite artist, obviously, is Jim Lee. Is like where I kind of really got into the X-Men. Like when I was in high school. I mean, I always tell the story. I started getting into it way back in the 80s, I guess it was, late 80s. Because the little store where I'd buy comic books at didn't have a new G.I. Joe comic book that week when I went. Because when I was that age, I just assumed there'd be a new comic book every time I went to the store. So it was like the same G.I. Joe comic book I bought last time. So I picked up this X-Men comic that I've never heard of before, except for on an episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And so I picked that up, and I just knew some of the characters. None of them were X-Men. Like Captain America was in it and stuff like that. And Spider-Man was being crucified on the splash page. And he was all like cut up and bleeding, and his mask was half ripped off. And I was like, what is going on? I need to read this book. And that's kind of like where I started. And so I've read forever, like X-Men. I've gotten every issue since then, which got kind of expensive for a while. Like, especially I didn't get into the other books until
that's an interesting question. Next time you do your interviews with the next group of people, what comic or what superhero got you into comics?
Oh, that's one of my questions.
To me, it's the Flash. Oh, really? Okay.
That's one of my questions.
Awesome.
I have all those. Yeah, that's kind of, and then it kind of went to a lot of the the early Image guys. And Todd Nauck. I've known Todd Nauck since we were teenagers, because at my little local comic book store when I was just out of high school, I went there to pick up my pull list that week, and it was actually an old used bookstore that was run by these two old ladies who just had this partnership with this comic book shop that was at the college. So that's who like provided all the comic books for this little store. And I went to pick up my pull list, and this kid, my age, is standing there, and she's like, "If you want and you buy this book, this boy here, he has a story that he drew in this book." And it was What The that Marvel used to do. It was kind of like a Mad kind of magazine. And I was like, okay. And he did this, what was it? Merry Mutants or something. It was like a little comic book strip that Todd Nauck did in there. So I have this book signed by him from way back in whatever. And that was like his first job when I remember talking to him. So I've known him since then. Like, so we keep in touch. And so like when he started working for Image, I bought like all of his stuff. Now he's, he doesn't even hardly do books. So he just did the one that was out yesterday. But and Brett Booth really, when he started out with before Backlash, what the heck was that book? Brigade? Not Brigade. Stormwatch. He started on there, and then
I remember Stormwatch.
I like Stormwatch.
The good Stormwatch, not the DC.
Hey, it's getting to be past my pumpkin hour.
Bedtime.
My wife just got home, and we got to give our cat diabetes medicine.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a...
Yeah, so, and then I got flag football tomorrow for my son, so I hate to cut it short, but...
is there any place we can find you, like if anybody wants to connect with you?
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to find me, I'm all over Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Lone Wolf Comics, or you can hang out with me in my personal ones at Rob Malteri. And then lonewolfcomics.com is my website, and the fastest way to get to my Kickstarter is lonewolfcomics.com/Nightwolf, and that'll take you to the Kickstarter.
All right. Well, thank you for stopping by.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's been a good time.
Yeah, and stop back anytime. I always have fun questions to go through.
Yeah.
So try to have some conversation, not just plug in books.
Oh yeah, no, it's been a great time.
That's a good idea,
yeah, for sure, definitely.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping, Rob. And anytime you want to come back, you're welcome just to jump on.
Sounds good. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good
night.
I'm probably going to head out too because my son keeps popping in here and it's like, I got to go to the bathroom again.
Right.
So I just figured I've been in for a couple hours. It's after 11 and stuff. So
All right. Katrina just asked, what book is this for?
What, that I'm drawing?
Yeah.
This is for Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, which we have not talked about yet.
Yep. So we're going to go right now. If I can share it really quick. Well, I don't know if I can while you're maybe.
Anyway, I'll see you then.
You can
All
pull
right.
my screen off of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
and seal it. All right. No, that's not what I want. I will learn how to do this eventually. It's the last one that's there. Oh, there we go. All right. And this is over there on Indiegogo. And
Yep. We do an Indiegogo.
4 days left.
Yes.
And so
We're
my
getting,
eyes are starting to go. I've been
getting
looking at the
very-
screen too long today.
we're getting very close to the end here. 4 days left to go. Oh, 91 backers. We are 9 backers away from unlocking a patch. And so basically, for
Oh.
all those who might still be listening, in the 2 hour and 10-minute mark here,
Yeah.
we'll let
It's
people-
actually shorter than my normal ones. We usually
Yeah.
go 3 hours.
Yeah, I'll let people know that. So this is a sci-fi action adventure superhero book. It takes folklore, legend, and myth, and it mixes it with all of those elements of a great, basically the Chris Claremont era of X-Men. Is really what inspired me, and it's kind of what I wanted to go back to. So if you ever watch the show Ancient Aliens, This has a lot of that element in there, so that's kind of the stirring point of what causes all of these kind of fantastical things to happen. And so that's what we do with this book. And right now, this is Killing Field Part 1 and 2. So this is actually Legacy issue 6 and 7. We just did Part 1 by itself a little bit ago, and so you can get Part 1 and 2 here. But we're doing something really cool, buddy. Let me tell you.
All right.
It got picked up with Arrow Comics. Arrow Comics 4.0 is going to be releasing this book. So in August, it goes to the direct market. Obviously I've improved since I first drew the first issue, like back in 2016, so there's been a few years. And so I wanted to go in and I wanted to remaster the issue so that I could, so that it would look more akin to what I typically draw now. And so, we went in about 90, I'd say 85 to 90. I've been saying about 80 to 85%, but I think it's a lot more than that. So we went in and did a remaster of about 80 to 85, maybe 90% of the art in the book. And so added scenes that had been taken out, extended a few scenes, and even wrote a new scene for it. So that's what we've been working on. And I'm pretty excited about it. I'm really excited for people to get a hold of that. So you're able to get that book with it as well. Not just the Killing Field Part 1 and 2, but you're able to get that remaster. And talk about 14-year-old Luke sitting at the comic book shop. I used to be surrounded by these comics, reading these comics, and I always wanted to have a multi-issue book that also had a role-playing game that was associated with it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, think about it. We didn't really have anything like that where we could also jump into the world of the book that we were reading in like a role-playing sense. We had a lot of other role-playing games that we could do, but we didn't really have the kind of that world where it was all inclusive to us. And so I wanted to create that. And so one of the things that we did with this campaign is I worked with a guy named Nick Tockard, and we have developed a role-playing game. We'll have the full manual out later this year. But right now what we're offering is the quick play of this. So it's like a rules module so that you can get to know the rules of the book, the kind of the gameplay. And so instead of trying to like read through all the boring rules, you just play through them. And so you learn the rules as you go. It's really kind of neat.
Kind of like a tutorial in the video game. I think.
Just like the tutorial mode on a video game, yes. That's exactly what I've been describing it as for people.
Very cool. Yeah, I've never really... I've seen people do role-playing games, and I've seen them do comics, but never kind of meshing the two into... so where you're actually playing in the world that you're reading.
Yeah, you get to create your own hybrid. For the main manual. For this one, you get to assume the role of some just everyday people in this game. So they're introduced into the world of hybrids through kind of this weird, kind of this weird stuff that happens that like Nick wrote. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. I'm pretty excited about it. And so we were able to get that, and it's available by itself or as an add-on or as part of a couple of the packages that we have too.
And you have action figures?
I have an action figure, yes. And so that's the prototype action figure. I've got it in front of me. Let me see. There it is. So we've got this action figure. They're hand painted. We're doing 20 of them.
Oh, I don't want me.
Yeah, so we're doing 20 of these action figures. They're hand painted. They come in this really neat clamshell type box, so you can open it up and take them out and play with them
without destroying
the box. Yes, and so focus on Trash Man. There we go. No, that's not going to happen. So anyway, on the back of the box, we've got it to where they're going to be numbered and signed. So we're limiting this to 20. If we don't have 20 ordered, I don't know that I'll order, like I'll do the full 20. But I might still do the full 20. I'm not sure. So I can sell them on my store. But we are doing 20 of those.
That's what I want. There we go. That's cool.
Yep. Those are available in the completest perk. So the completest perk is $150. Has everything except for any kind of wearable garments, but has everything else. And then it also includes that, or you can have an add-on.
And trading card.
Yep. That trading card is available to everybody. Every physical backer will get that trading card. So I try to do something like that with every campaign where it's just a granted that everybody's going to get it.
And this is the patch that we can unlock with 9 more backers. You said
9 more backers. That's all we need. If we get 9 more backers, we're ordering the patch. So I'd like to have to order the patch this weekend, so I don't have to, so I can go ahead and get it coming. That'd be nice. But we could stall out and not get a single, another backer from now until the end of the campaign. So I don't know that I want to, take a chance on
ordering them and not be stuck with.
Yeah, we're gonna wait until we know that we've got it. So.
And look, I don't need to ask how many pages it is because it says it right there.
Yeah, I try to put all of that information right there in front for everybody. Because I know that those are the questions that I have. Well, how many pages is it? Is it full color? The book is done. All the print files are done for everything, and they're ready just to be sent over. The only thing that might change is the cover for the remaster. It might be this piece that I'm working on now because it's turning out so nice.
Yeah. And this is the role-playing game that you had mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this is the remaster, but it's not the official cover, is what you're saying yet.
Well, it might be the official cover. It's the one that we had planned for it. But like I said, sometimes I just get to where I'm like, I'm not super happy with something. Mm-hmm. And that was one of those where I'm like, it's okay, but it's not awesome, Yeah. And so I might be, this is the thing I'm working on now is turning out pretty good. So it might actually be awesome. So we'll find out. And if it is awesome, then it will be the cover.
Sketch cover.
Yep, that sketch cover is cool because I don't do too many of those, but I'm going to do a front and back on that.
Oh, so it's like a wraparound sketch cover.
Yeah, we're going to wrap that thing around.
Nice. Jim O'Reilly art?
Yep. Yep. He is doing a commission for somebody.
That's cool.
So they get to pick their favorite hybrid, and he will do that art for them. It's really cool. That went pretty fast. I mean, it didn't stay very long.
Yeah, I think original art most of the time goes pretty quick.
Yeah, especially at Jim O'Reilly. Jim's a very talented guy. Sometimes I don't think he realizes how talented he is.
I think that's an artist thing. Like none of us think our stuff is good enough.
Some of us know it's not good enough.
And these are just some sample pages from.
Yes, some of the interior art that you're going to find in issue 7. Below that is some interior art that you're going to find in the remaster of issue number 1. We do have some catch-up tiers so that you can get caught up completely on the series if you want. Now, I've written this in such a way to where you do not have to have the Trash Day arc in order to be able to jump in with it. You can right away you can jump in with part 1 of the Killing Field.
And you write and do the art on this?
I do, yeah. I'm the writer and the artist behind this, and so it's where like obviously with Voodoo Nations, I'm just the artist on that. This is one of the occasions where I am in charge of the whole thing. Yeah, it's kind of all my baby.
Oh, this does not look like you.
That one is not me. No, that is a backup story that we're doing. Samir, I think, is the artist name.
Samir,
something like that. Yeah. So he's the artist on that one. Hired him in for. So basically, we had some individuals who did be a hybrid tier from our last book, and so there's 3 of them, and so we've written in 3 characters that they've designed into this story that will come back in the final arc. That we have planned for this particular bit of story. So this story, Trash Day, The Killing Field, and Lifeline are the 3 volumes. So volume 1, Trash Day, so on and so forth, as mentioned. And so I am working on another arc to go after that. I don't know if it'll be a standalone arc or not, but it's called Old Dominion.
Oh.
And so that's pretty cool. So we're definitely doing some stuff here, but the main story that I wanted to tell are these first 3 volumes. So.
And this is the remastered pages?
Those are remastered pages, yes.
Very cool. And do you do the coloring on this too, or do you have a colorist?
I don't. I have a colorist. His name is Patrick Gamma. I think he does a fantastic job. He does a way better job than what I could do. So we just let him do his job.
Yeah. Looks good. I like the bright colors. Like, I get so tired of seeing superhero comics and then not be colored like a superhero comic.
Right?
If you know what I mean. Like, it's the whole point of superhero comics is supposed to be these bright colors.
Yeah. And that right there is some work that Martha Schwartz has done.
Yeah, it kind of looked familiar. Nice. But she's just all over the place tonight. She
really is.
And this is the prototype, I guess, when you're getting it. Is it 3D printed, I take it?
Yep, it is resin printed, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I've thought about doing figures for mine, and then I'm like, might be a little expensive.
They can be. They can be expensive. But I'm committed to adding something really cool to the campaign. And so, so I was like, we're doing this. The opportunity came, and I was like, this is something that I've wanted to do, and I'm not going to, have the opportunity to do it now. We can do a short run of these, and it still be feasible. So that's what we decided to do.
Yeah. And this is one of the variant covers.
Yep, that's variant cover B. And then again with this, like what we have done in the past, we're doing the black cover, which was a very popular cover for the last campaign, and so we are doing that again.
And then your sketch.
Yeah, and we'll do a variant cover, the black cover for every book in this arc, which there's going to be 4 total books in this arc.
What are these gamer packs? Are they cards or?
Yeah, no, that's the role playing game. So the
that's
the module. Yeah, we've got it set up to where if you want to give extra copies to your friends or pass them out at game night, you can do that at a discounted price. So instead of the $15 a piece, we're giving them away for the 10. And this game module, we're going to play this through actually tomorrow night on Shay the Red's channel. So we're pretty excited that people are going to get a chance to see that in action via the internet.
The intrawebs.
Intrawebs.
That's what old people call it. And so this is the catch-up tier. So that's the graphic novel, and then the first 2 of
yes,
this new.
Yeah, and we've also got a variant-ish copy of that where it's the
B covers.
Yeah, the B covers. So, and those B covers for the trade one of those was done by Kanan White, tremendous artist.
Oh yes.
And then Nitho Diaz did part one of the Killing Field.
And then there's your completest. That's a little bit of everything.
Yep.
And what did we hit? I guess we hit all but the Pogs, huh? Pogs. Oh my god.
No, those are backers. Those are backer numbers.
Backer
so yeah,
numbers,
the next one is Chlorine. Will be the 9 backers away, and we'll unlock that one. And then at 150 backers, it's the metal trading card. So that's the next one to look forward to.
I just seen Pogs, and it just brought back memories.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I'm
God.
very nostalgic. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm very very nostalgic. And so I love all of that stuff.
You might be showing your age with those, though.
Well, I'm happy to tell my age. I am 41.
Wow. So
Yeah,
getting up there.
Yeah, I'm just a big kid at heart.
I was an adult when those were popular.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it was 14-year-old Luke. This book and this series is an ode to the 14-year-old me, and it's fitting that now I'm 41. So it's like
Yeah.
Sounds like reverse age.
My book, it's a superhero team, and Project 34. It's the same way. That's like my. I guess it's my love story to the X-Men, because I actually have 20. I was looking the other day, 27 issues of that book written. I don't think I'll ever actually get all 27 issues made, because I don't know if I have enough time to make 27 issues of that book, but I keep writing it. And hopefully, I'm hoping that once I'm done, my son will take it over, because or one of them. Both of them, are artists, and they're working on their own stuff. And
That's awesome, man.
yeah, sometimes they join in the chat, but they both must be busy. Well, my one son's graduating high school here next week, so he's probably out having fun. Yeah, he graduates on Tuesday. So we have 4 days left. We're already reached our goal, so it's always good. I'm gonna have to jump on that. It was so terrible because, like, about 2 weeks ago, I lost my debit card and my credit card, and I was going crazy because I had all these other Kickstarters who were ending, and they're like, I couldn't fix the payment because I had to cancel the cards and I didn't have new ones yet. And I'm like, no, this is the worst weekend. So I haven't been able to back anything until I made sure I had a new card. It's terrible.
I understand
So I had to get a hold of everybody. It's like, I know my thing failed. Can I just pay it on PayPal until my card gets in? So I definitely have to back that, because I'm a superhero person.
Yeah, I am too. I've always loved them, and it's just one of those things where I just wanted to do a good superhero book.
Yeah,
it was kind of always my thing. I don't color often, so it's always fun when I do. But I think my favorite thing to render is Trash Man's pants. I like the way the grains turn out.
Yeah, reds are the worst. Reds are the hardest thing in the world to render.
I'm starting to love reds. I've learned a little bit about like how to render, like with color theory.
Yeah, but reds, like when you try to color, because you start out with a dark, and when you try to lighten it, it starts turning orange, or it just.
Yeah, well, I try to put a little orange in my reds now.
Yeah, it's a really tricky thing. And like I started learning, like when I learned to color, I learned from a couple different professional colorists. And one of the things we learned, one of the first things he taught us, is that gray is a magic color, because gray will take on the color of whatever is around it. So he was showing us with a bunch of different things that are colored. He'd say, what does that color look like? And you'd be like, well, it looks like a reddish color. And he'd color pick it, and it'd be like a grayish color. It's like, that's crazy. I was trying to color a picture of Storm the other day, so I actually took a picture from the comic book to try to get the skin tone right. And every time I clicked on it, it came out like purple or red. I was like, that's not purple or red, but that's what color it is. It just doesn't. Our brains kind of read colors.
Part of it is it's part of that color theory. So
Yeah.
if you throw up my screen for a second, I'll just show you. So you see these pants. I'll just turn these. I'll turn the just a regular shadow. Like for the shadow, like what I'll do, and I think you can see my whole screen, so I can show this off. I create a layer, and I make that layer a linear burn, and then you choose the color that you're wanting to go with, and then I drop it. You drop it one way or the other. I usually drop it towards the darker color, and then go like this in order to do a shadow. And so then when I come in with my airbrush, and I do like some cut and gradient stuff.
Yeah.
And I blend it with some just regular airbrush technique. But so you can see kind of how that works. But the real magic is when you do the highlights. So like, because everything gets darker, easier. You know, it's easier to do the shadows, but I like to get like those nice deep shadows in there. But when you do the highlights. So if I were to create a layer and make that a color dodge and do the same thing as I did before, let me leave that shadow in there so it makes sense. But do the same thing as I did before, only this time go to the lighter and bring it up to the lighter, and then go back to my airbrush. Here, I'm just gonna, and then I'm not even gonna do cut and grad. I'm just gonna
freehand
it a little bit, because that's how I like to do my highlights, is to freehand them.
Yeah. There's so many different ways.
Yes, so many different techniques that you can use.
Oh yeah, like when I do mine, like I was taught by my brain just anyway. He does it like an older style. So like I only use 3 layers, man. Like I have my flats layer, and then I have my colors layer, and then I have the layer that I'm coloring at that time. So like if I was doing the pants, I'd click it with the lasso tool or the magic wand, and then I'd F4 it to like set that as a new layer, and then I do all my coloring just on that layer, and then I just merge it back down. That's like kind of like an old school. Like I don't know how to do those masks. People, I mean, I watch some people do it. I'm like, how do you do that? I don't understand. I mean, I've taught myself Photoshop, so I'm kind of, I have no clue really what 97% of the stuff on Photoshop does. So, so I'm very old school in the way I do it. I've seen other people do it, and I'm like, I don't know how you do that. Like, I think it's Dave Jackson. I watch him color sometimes, and he does that with mask layers and stuff, where each of the colors are on a different layer, and he can just like kind of drop it down and cut it. And I'm like, I have no.
I used to do that. It's just not my thing anymore.
Yeah.
Because I want to go fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I just find that this is, do a little cut and grad. And I have all my shadows on one layer, and a lot of people don't do that. But I just don't feel like I need those other layers. But I have all my shadows on one layer, all my highlights on the other, and my flats on one. The reason why I do that is because then usually I can go in and I can change the color of something pretty quickly, the way I used to do it. I've started doing it even more differently than I did before. So
one thing I have added when I'm doing my flats, I learned to do it like I'll first color each panel a different color, and then I save that as panel flats. Let's just say. Then I'll go back and I'll break up. I don't do complete flats. Like I'll color the main character all one color. I color everything like one solid color, and then I save that as I call it big flats. And then I'll do the regular flats. That way, if I have to go back in later, and let's say I want to add like a rain effect to just this one panel, I don't, it's kind of hard to like make sure you get it. So I can just color pick everything that's in that panel, or go back down to that big panels and just click that one panel, and I can put the effects in, or if I need to put like a hue, like to change the like a day night kind of thing. It's easier than having to try to select try to select the panel and everything like by hand. It just seemed like it was a easier thing to do. Well, I'm sorry. So I've been curious about the campaign. Is there a way to get issue 1 on? I guess he was talking about the hybrids.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the trade paperback is where you're going to get issue 1 on. So you're going to get that's going to be issue 1 through 5, and it's also going to include some backup stories and some creator commentary. So it's going to make you feel like you're part of the editorial team. So that's what you're going to get there. As far as issues go, I do have you. Maybe you want to, if you want to hit me up, I have some regular floppies, some old ones, but all of those are going to get reissued with Arrow Comics. So we're
Nice.
So we don't have a whole lot of those left.
Excellent. Well, I think we have wasted enough of everybody's time tonight. I don't know. It's been 2.5 hours. But thank you for coming on.
Hey, it's no problem. Thanks for having me.
It was great hearing about your 2 projects that are probably driving you crazy at the same time. I know that would, I know it was bad enough for me just having 1, let alone trying to keep 2 of them kind of know where you're going and what's up.
Well,
so.
Thankfully, there's only like a week where there's both of them, and so then it gets exponentially easier after that. So,
and Katrina's been here the whole time. Had we known that, we could have let her come on, and she could have been the first 3-timer on the show. But
Good job, Katrina.
Didn't know she was going to be here the whole time. So she could have talked about her cats with the last couple hours to go before her campaign ends. I still need all the Rocky stories. I told her we need a book. I even laid out the plot for the next 4 or 5 Rocky stories. She needs to
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah. The one cat's named Rocky, and so I wanted to know if in the first story he fights Apollo Creed. We had this idea
Creed.
of Apollo Creed. So, again, thanks for stopping by. And if you guys want to stop in anytime, I'm always here on Friday nights. Just like to hang out and talk some comics. And thanks for showing us some of your coloring tonight.
Hey man, that's no problem. I like to get a little work done while I'm working.
I would like to do that too, but I can't. I'm like,
you can't.
I tried it. Yeah, I tried it one time. I tried to do this and work on something, and then it just didn't work.
Yeah, I've tried to do that before with my Tuesday night show. It just doesn't happen. It's so that's why we call it take a break.
Yeah.
So I just
you had a full house where I would have. Hey, I can have up to 10 people in here at one time, so I don't want to hear. That's not an excuse. Let's see what. Hey, Luke, Hybrids is Arrow Comics' first color comic in a few years, right?
It is, yes. Actually, it's they will be releasing several comics all at once for the first time in August. But yeah, this is the first. It will be the first one that they picked up that's color comics. They've not done that before. It's all been black and white. So that's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting to be a part of that. Kind of a part of that step in their evolution.
And Arrow's been around for a while, haven't they? It's not like the newest kid on the.
Yeah, no, they they had quite a reputation, as a solid indie publisher back in the day, and so
that's what I thought.
It's nice to see them coming back into publishing greatness. I think it's going to be. I'm excited to see it. I know a lot of other people that are really excited to see what Randy's going to do over there. Randy's a fantastic guy. With a great head on his shoulders. So very exciting to be working with him.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what goes on over there. So, well, again, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a safe holiday weekend.
I'm probably not going to go anywhere or do anything.
Me neither. People always ask me. It's like, don't
Yeah,
really
I'm
do much
incredibly
anymore.
boring.
So am I. It's like, yeah, I'll stay home and probably work on stuff because I have a bunch of crap that I've been putting off for a while that needs to
Yeah,
get done.
yeah, I'm about I think I'm 7 pages in now to issue 8. So and I just started this week, so
Oh, very good.
so I'll probably take the extra day this next week to do some more of that. Just try to break out as much of that book as I can, so that it's over, it's done.
Yeah. I don't blame. Well,
Yep.
again, that's looking cool.
Yeah, it's turned out not too bad. So
Yeah.
the fun part is when I go in here and do this, where I go I do a blue, like I do the lighting effect. So I'll do like
Yeah.
a add glow or something, and then I'll get into the right color blue that I want, and then
Do you like see the way I do those effects is again this is an old school probably way to do it. I put a black layer over top of the whole picture, and then I change that to a screen layer, and then I just take that color with like I have a chalk brush or a screen brush, and I just paint it like that, and the more you go over it, the brighter it gets.
yeah, I do a few different ways. Like there, I just did like I did a hard glow, or I did a add glow, and then I just airbrushed a little bit, and then I turn that layer down, and then I start a new layer, and then I go into linear light. I'll add in here, and so it gets a little sometimes, and it gets a little much, but I add that, kind of. That's more kind of like I'll kind of add this into some places.
And do you do like color holds over like that's I don't know, I didn't see the line art really. So like
I
like
did, yeah, I did it right here.
oh yeah, okay, there we can see.
Yeah, so some of that stuff will get it. Not everything gets it, but some stuff
Yeah,
gets
it's just I usually do it for like that, like for energy stuff or fire or
Yeah.
something where
So-
you don't want a black outline around.
it. Yeah. So
You know?
and then I turn that down, so I start building the color. I start building that effect, and so then I'll do another one, and then this one I'll do like an overlay, because I think overlay turns out really good. I might change the blue to a different color
Yeah.
blue, and then I start to go in and do the overlay.
So I guess I'm always interested how other people who color comics do it because, like I said, everybody has a different way. I guess is almost the way.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I don't do a lot of comic
Yeah.
coloring.
Yeah.
Like, that's not really my thing. So,
Yeah, because I know when you did that print for me, and you asked if I wanted you to color it, or I said,
Yeah.
go ahead, like try. I don't, what's the worst that could happen? You know?
I was trying a new technique with that too.
Yeah.
It's-
Like, I get tired of coloring. I don't know. So I like to color things for myself. I guess but I get sick of coloring all the time. I don't know if that's really, but it just seems like I do it all the time. Like I like to do some other things besides color every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, all right.
yeah, so I just add a bit of blue like that, just
Yeah.
that gives that'll give the sense. And so once I do the power effects on there, it'll look really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll do the same thing for the bottom layer, but I will color all of that underneath the flat. So I turn that color on the bottom.
Yeah.
And so I'll render all of that by itself, and I will do that tomorrow, because if you can see, that's a lot of detail in there, and that's going to take forever.
Yeah. I hate. That's the one thing I hate coloring is like rocks, like broken stuff like that. It's just like, where do I put the light and
Yeah, and then I may decide that I don't like this at all, and I may hire a colorist to do it tomorrow. So I'm like, hey, color this for me.
Yeah.
Because I've got some really good colorists that I work with. Yeah, sometimes I just don't want to do the coloring.
Yeah, sometimes I like to get someone like there was a lot of those. Well, the
Oh, that's
backup
neat.
stories for Omni, I had other people do because I just like.
Yeah.
I would rather pay someone right now. You know, like,
That's just the shadows and the highlights. That looks kind of cool.
oh yeah, that's cool.
Just
Like the
like-
first thing when I first started coloring in, to check your flaps, how you take the line art out, and I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, that looks really neat. You can still see what everything is if you've done it right. Just,
Yeah, I think the line art looks really good on this one. I'm pretty impressed with it for just being something I was screwing around with.
yeah.
You know,
If you wouldn't mind, if you could just send me that line art so I can just color it for the heck of it.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, so just to
Absolutely.
give me some. I always like to get a bunch of line art and color it.
Let me export this as a TIFF, or do you want it as a PNG so you can have?
Yeah, TIFF's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll give me something else to color. Because right now I'm working on. I don't remember who it is. An artist on Instagram. Every once in a while, he'll give people. He said, just comment with your email address, and I'll send you these line arts. So he did a House of X, like it's like Rogue and Jean, Psylocke and Storm. So I've been. He just sent the pencils, so I had to ink it, and I am not an inker, so it took me a few days to ink it, and then now I've been slowly working on the colors. So I just finished the flats the other day. In between doing everything else I've got to do.
I just stuck in the private chat.
Oh, okay, that works.
There you
But,
go. Just Dropbox link.
All right, thank you. Well, I
Anybody
guess
else wants that file? Let me know. I'll just stick it in the. You can stick it in the comments, or
Yeah.
Anybody watch this? Say,
Yeah.
hey, I want a copy of that too. I'll make sure to get it to you.
What? Y'all have mastered the Midwestern goodbye. See, it's not just the Midwestern. Us people in Pittsburgh do that too. I told you when we were on here.
Well, I'm from Indiana, so
You start that.
yeah.
You start in the house. Say, okay, I got it. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
All right.
And then you talk for a little bit, and then you get to the door. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
go. Talk to you.
Thanks for having me tonight, for sure. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for stopping by. It's always fun to talk to other creators.
It really
I
is.
tell everybody this is like the highlight of my week usually because it gives me a chance to a lot of times meet people I don't know, like that I haven't talked to before. So and see projects I wouldn't have seen if they hadn't come on the show. So I'm glad you came, and like I said, you're welcome back anytime. I'm here every Friday night. So anytime you want to come and just hang out and talk comics.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for stopping by, Luke.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. Let's take Luke's. There it is. All right. Wow. I didn't think we were going to get close to our 3-hour show tonight, but we sort of did. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We had a pretty full show, even if Travis Gibb didn't get to make it, but I understand family things. Understandable. But anyway, I want to thank my guests again tonight because they were awesome. Well, first of all, Emily McGuinness and her book, The Zombie Game, which is available at their website, which I have in the comments somewhere, and I will add it again after I'm done. I should have wrote it down so I can remember what it is. But if you look in the comments on the Hooligan Alley Hangout page or on my personal page, you'll see all the links to everybody who was on the show tonight. But her graphic novel, The Zombie Game, is available on their website for purchase. Also, we had Frank James Bailey on. I want to thank Frank and his book, Tercona, which is available on his website. Issue number 5, issue number 4, issue 5 comes out next month. It's www.tercona.com. He has a bunch of stuff on there. Be sure to stop and check them out. Also, Rob Malteri and his book Nightwolf, which is on Kickstarter right now, issues 1 through 5. You can go ahead and grab those. He's also a fellow Pittsburgher, so be sure to Yinzal get out there and back us Pittsburghers. And then finally, Luke Stone and his 2 projects. First, Voodoo Nations number 1 and 2, written by Travis Gibb and Luke Stone on art. That's on Kickstarter right now. I think you have like 16 days left to get that. So you should head on over there. Great book. And his other series, Hybrids, The Killing Field, 1 and 2, which is on Indiegogo right now for another, I think, 6 days. Is that what it was? I believe it was 6 days. 4 days. I'm sorry, 4 days. For another 4 days, you should go and check that out. I know I'm going to. I'm sure I'm going to end up getting everything that was on the show tonight because it's all good stuff. But again, thanks to everyone who was here. Next week we have a pretty good show. I think Leanne, Kathleen, and I'm going to screw up your last name because I screw up somebody's last name on the show. Ingino. And my eyes are starting to go. Corey Hardiman and Carlos Rafael are our 3 guests next week. I will be able to pronounce these by the time next Friday rolls around. So be sure to come and check us out, hang out. We are booking guests for June and July. So if you know anybody who has a project out in June or July who would like to come on to hang out and talk about their project, get us to share it for them, whatever, or just come and talk, have some fun, answer some weird comic book questions. Just let them know. But I want to tell everyone to have a nice and happy Memorial Day weekend. Be safe. Go out there and back these projects. Back some other projects, even if they're not on my show. Just go out and support the indie creators and just have some fun and read comics. Peace.